We are so live.
We are so here. Can everyone see? Can everyone see our awesome guest, Dylan the Bulbastore, is here with us?
Hello, everyone. Hello. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Do we even need to introduce him? Do
That's
people not
I
know?
guess, I guess some of the people might know who he is.
Come on.
We are so
I mean,
live.
just
We're so here on the day before Thanksgiving. So if you are hanging out with your family, your in-laws, your grandparents, feel free to go to the other room. So you've got important business that you need to be online for the next, I don't know, 2 hours for. We're going to be hanging out, talking about the hobby, some breaking news, and debating the topic of the day, which is vending Pokemon cards the ultimate cheat code for building your collection? And we've got some hot takes ready from all three of us. And you may not think you may be wrong about our positions on this topic.
I'm excited, man. We've
What's so
got the
funny,
chat.
Ricky? Are you laughing at your own turkey head?
No, I'm laughing at the chat. I'm laughing at our hot takes. People are liking they're coming up with names. Turkeyama is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, pretty interesting. Some people are saying we do need the introduction.
we
Folks
do.
don't know who Dylan is. I mean, what what is there to say about Dylan that hasn't been said?
Yeah.
The buyer POV goat, coin flip, coin flip extraordinaire, total degenerate.
Yes. King of lowballing other vendors.
Mm.
I mean, Ricky, you're giving a run for his money, but
Is he the king?
I don't know anybody who's squeezed more money out of me than Dylan the Bulbastore.
Wait, is that facts, actually?
I win a lot, but with you, I just lose.
It's just the Bulba charm.
Guys, we have so many cool topics to go over today, but quick as usual, we're going to recap what happened a couple of weeks ago when we had the Midweek Machamps. Ricky, tell everybody what we were doing 2 weeks ago and what they missed if they weren't here.
Yeah, it's worth going back and watching. We had a lovely guest in your friend Drew, my new friend Drew. Marcucci collects. He's been grading cards since before it was cool to grade cards, and so we talked graded cards and corporate buyers. We shared what we know is definitely happening. We shared what we've heard in the rumor mill, and we speculated on the possibilities of what's going on behind closed doors with folks like PSA buying their own graded cards back and kind of pulling the rug on some offers they've made. GameStop Arena Club, those other like major buyers that are supplying those gambling pull games, like how is their spending millions of dollars at 100% of comps affecting or not affecting the hobby? So it was a great conversation and a really perfectly timed topic, if I do say so ourselves. So and a great guest for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good time. If you guys missed that, then definitely go back and watch. We love Drew, and I'm sure we'll have him on again in the future. But for today, we're going to dive into that new. That no more old news. Let's get into the fun and current stuff with some of our traditional topics. And we're excited because the Bulbastore, when we talk about PC pickups and cool deals and all this kind of stuff, Dylan is at the forefront of all of these kinds of things and has a substantial personal collection himself. I don't know. Maybe you've seen his YouTube channel. The last video did about your PC, Dylan. What is it, like $28 bazillion worth of Pokemon cards? What exactly is the figure?
He said 38 bazillion.
38 bazillion. See, so
38 bazillion.
it's an incredible thing. So let's start there and maybe everyone share a recent personal collection pickup, or for in Dylan's case, any personal collection item he wants to share.
Just grab it. You want me to go first?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. So recently, I just pick up. So I had this one. It is the is it reversed on the camera? I don't even know.
No, we gotcha.
It's the Reverse Expedition Bulbasaur PSA 10. There's two of them, but this one is Pop 8. I've had one I bought for like a year ago, but then I recently found someone who had two of them, and I just paid whatever he was asking for. So it ended up costing me $4,000, so $2,000 each, which in all honesty is expensive, but not that crazy. Like when you compare it to other reverse hollows. So now I have 3 out of the 8 of those Bulbasaurs. It's one of the lower pop ones that I have.
Wow.
Awesome.
So that one's I'm pretty excited for. Yep.
That's a huge card. Those e-readers and right now, all the Wizards of the Coast stuff is kind of at the forefront of everybody's mind. I might talk a bit more about that a little bit later today on the show, but really cool, dude. And as a fellow lover of e-readers, I got big respect on that.
Are you going for as many of those as you can get? Like, are you buying them anytime they come up? Like, are you gonna own most of them in the world when you hit 5 of them? Like, is that the goal?
Whenever it hits, like, people know that I'm looking, because my original goal was just to get one of each, and then after you hit it, I still want to keep buying them. So it is basically anytime I see a reverse Bulba that's reasonably priced, I will buy it. Or unless like I have too many of them. Like there, I wouldn't want, if there's 50 of a card, I wouldn't want like 50 of them. But for these lower pop cards that are like 8, 10, then I'll try to get as many as I can. Some
Mm.
people know that and they will like not blackmail, but like overcharge. They'll be like, I'll sell you one of them for $8,000. I'm like, okay, that's not worth it. So anything
Brutal.
that's reasonably priced, I'll try to pick up. But yeah, I'll get as many as possible.
Yeah, I get a lot of DMs about extremely niche and rare Garchomps, and like, hey, do you want to buy this? It's pop 2. I only want $11,000 for it. I'm just like,
Mm.
whoa. Thanks for offering. Very cool card.
Nice, man.
I'll go next. Does that sound good, Ricky?
Let's do it.
Okay, I got a couple of things. One that you'll all recognize, and one that I had never seen before this weekend. That when I saw, I just had to have. And I know it's another one I know for a fact. Once I show it, Ricky's going to be like, "Oh wait, I need that too."
Oh no.
Okay, so here's the first thing that you should all know. I've been really into Dragonites lately, and so I picked this up in
Ooh,
in Pasadena.
nice.
This is an unlimited light Dragonite from Neo PSA
Mm,
10. Pop 91, I believe, on this card.
mm,
And unlimited for a lot of these Wizards of the Coast cards are actually lower pop than the first edition variants.
mm.
And I don't have any personal love for the first edition stamp. And so I am totally down to have a more rare copy of this card with this artwork. And I did not buy it as a speculation, but I also felt like it was pretty safe, given that we've just got a whole bunch of new Dragonite hype released. So we'll see. Also, Wizards of the Coast stuff is really strong right now. And yeah, I'm excited about that. So that's card number one. That one was definitely for me. And then this, if I don't knock everything over, this is crazy cool.
Whoa.
This is a sealed 2-pack of VHS cassettes, Japanese, for learning the card game. And it's got all 5 of those promos on it. So that is the Arcanine, a Trainer, an Ivysaur, a Wartortle, and an Electabuzz. My guess is they're like glossy, play promos in Japanese.
Wow.
So, and then this incredibly beautiful Sugimori artwork on the front. You got this crazy Jinx in the bottom here. The old school Growlithe up here. So just really, really beautiful. And again, these are cassette tapes, and it came in a sealed 2-pack. So I picked these up. Kind of, I don't know. It's similar to those CD promos that I shared last time in the original packaging with the multimedia. So I was really pumped about that.
It has the original Pikachu up there too, the little chunky boy.
Yeah, the one from the WB promo. So I love that. And yes, it does. It does have those promos in there. So,
Oh, cool, man.
yeah, it's got the cassette, and then this second kind of like rectangle here contains dice, the old school Japanese Chansey coin, damage counters, and then those promos. So
Very nice.
You've been showing off a lot of Japanese stuff lately.
well, I mean, there's some stuff that never came to English. Like I have some of the like old school English stuff, like some of the theme decks and the gift sets and all that kind of stuff that I really love in English. But Japan got way more of that kind of, early on memorabilia stuff. And so, and I can just never say no to Sugimori artworks, so.
Yeah. Nice. Well, for mine, we're gonna do something a little interesting here, and Jake, you're gonna show mine off.
I am. And why is
You're gonna
that?
show mine off. Well, last stream, as you kind of alluded to, you did show off this sealed CD promo
Yes.
item here, and I said, "Dang it! Why did you show me that? I need that now." And a couple days ago, you text me from Front Row Pasadena, and you say, "Hey, I'm working on a deal that involves another one of those sealed CD promos." And I said, I trust you, man. Whatever reasonable price, like let's do it. I'm in. So we haven't even actually worked out the price, but I have full faith that we will
Oh,
figure
it's
out
gonna be
something
so
fair.
high.
You better get cooked.
Oh man, nothing better than having a
Wait.
guaranteed buyer, you know?
Is that the one that the Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur come in?
Yeah, got Charizard, Blastoise,
Oh, and
Venusaur,
Snorlax?
Snorlax, Porygon. Yeah, all those holo CD promos in there.
Oh.
So yeah, a
Awesome.
really cool
So
piece. And actually, it wasn't at Front Row Pasadena. It was when I was at the pop up event that I
oh,
did on Monday.
no.
Yeah, one of the employees of the store, saw something in my case, a slab that he wanted, and so he traded it into into one of those slabs when I was at the event.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for thinking of me. I do lament what could happen here now that you've got a little bit of power over me, and as Flower Petals is saying in the chat, friends don't let friends get cooked. So
Oh yeah, I would never let you pay above market on something nice like that.
thank you so much. I can't wait to finalize the deal.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man, yeah, we got so many cool goodies lately. Look at us! Like,
awesome.
what I love about what we just shared is like it was all like kind of unique stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all
Totally.
getting to that point where it's like, what's the stuff that we don't see every day? You know?
Trying to feel something, you know?
Ugh, I whip out a Moonbreon.
Yeah, exactly. Check out this Lugia V. You never see this.
Love it. All right. Before we move on to our next traditional segment, just going to remind the folks in the chat, you can ask questions at any time. If they're relevant to the conversation, we'll probably answer them on the spot, but we always star questions. I've seen a couple come through, and we'll save a little bit of time at the end for Q&A. Let's move on to our favorite or notable Pokemon card deal recently.
Mm.
I'm happy to start. Maybe kind of go reverse order.
There you go.
Cool. All right. At a recent show, the most recent show I was vending about a month ago, a girl came up to my table and she actually misspeaks. It's in this video. She's like, "Do you sell here?" And I was like, "Do I sell here?" And she's like, "No, I mean buy. I'm trying to sell." I was like, "Okay, yes, I buy. I'm buying." And I did a lot of buying at that show. This girl in particular had a bunch of mid-era stuff, most notably the Dragon's Exalted Mew and
Ooh.
Team Aqua Kyogre, but a lot of
Mm.
stuff from that era, like Delta Species through kind of what those original full arts from sort of XY Sun Moonish, maybe I think it was XY mostly. And she and her brother just pulled them as kids and been sitting on them. And her friend's husband or partner watches the channel, so they were kind of like, oh, this guy to go to. And anyway, worked it all out, kind of taught her I was comping things and made her an offer and bought all that stuff. But the reason it was a notable deal for me is that it's always interesting to me when you see stuff like that people are sitting on sort of unknowingly. Like it always gets my imagination going about what other really cool kind of rare stuff is out. Like that Dragon's Exalted Mew is not something I see every day. And
No, the full art one you're talking about, right?
yes, yeah, it's kind of pink and purplish, and yeah,
Such a strong card and
yeah,
impossible to grade. I recently
Mhm.
owned a Japanese PSA 10 version, and you could just tell the print quality. Like any English copy I've ever seen is absolutely shredded.
Mm.
So cool that walked up to your table, man.
Yeah, it was like LP-ish, not shredded, but probably not gradable.
Yeah.
Maybe get a 6 or a 7 at best or something. So, but in pretty good shape, all things
Fine.
considered. And
It's an
totally,
expensive card too, and it's gone up quite a bit with all the black and white full art boom. Like what it's got
yeah,
in that condition, it's what, like almost $400 maybe.
exactly. Yes, that is what I
Cool.
comped it out at, and I paid, I think, high 70s, 75 or 78% for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of like heavily played stuff under $20 in this lot. But that card now, I think on TCG Player, like there's been sales in the 500 range in that condition. So
Wow.
you're spot on. It was 400, 425 at the time, and I think they're like 530 now in that
Wow.
condition.
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah. So that's my recent deal. I saw some questions in the chat about PC projects and stuff. I'm starring all these, so keep asking these questions. We will probably come back to these. Which one of you guys wants to go on notable deal recently?
I can go. I don't know if Dylan, you're still noodling on it. Remind me, Ricky, did I show these off last time? You gotta remind me. Did I show these off last time we were on?
Oh, sorry, you're frozen on my end. Oh, there we go. Oh man, I'm actually mixing up whether you showed these on the pod or you showed me before the pod. You can show them again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll do this, and then if someone says that it's a repeat, I'll do something else. I have it. Yeah. I also have it right here. So, sealed Mario Luigi poncho boxes walked up to my table in Las Vegas. And yeah, we did all the due diligence to make sure that they were real, and had them weighed, and we had a regular or we had a Luigi box on hand to kind of compare and contrast and everything that when we were there. And so very cool to have those walk up. And I already had a Luigi box, but I have never owned the Mario sealed. And so the only question is, what do I do with them now? Is like, do I open them and grade them? That sounds like that's Dylan's preference. What do you think I should do?
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's too expensive for what it is. But regardless, I still keep a sealed pair just because it's iconic. So it's kind of like I don't agree with the price, but it's so cool. I'm gonna keep it regardless.
Yeah, I agree. And it's the kind of thing that like I don't think, now that it's gotten to where it is as far as value and attention and all that, like I think that they're going to be strong investments for a long time, because it's an iconic kind of, marriage of the Nintendo IPs that they have not repeated and had never done before.
No doubt. Nice,
so I did that. And then again, if that was a repeat, I can do this now because I don't know if I'll remember in 2 weeks. But I also picked up this Skull PSA 10. Picked this up in Pasadena because I had a local friend of mine who was looking to pick up a PSA 10 and wants to, and we're working on a trade tomorrow. I'm going to go and pick up. He has a graded Gold Star Charizard that we're gonna work a trade out for. So I'm excited for that.
Dylan got up and picked something up. Yeah, you spurred my memory, so I do remember. Okay, so for notable deal, very notable deal. This was, I haven't even posted it yet, but Houston Collecticon like a month ago, maybe a couple weeks ago. I picked up. I was literally end of the day on Sunday, packing up. It's like 5:05, way after closing, and I'm almost packed up. Everything's already gone, and this couple comes up to me, and they say, "Hey, are you still buying?" I said, "Sure, I'll take a look because of course I am." And he whips out this bad boy.
Oh,
PSA 10 Crystal Charizard. I can't tell if it. Yeah, okay. But you guys can see it. And I'm like,
I can see it.
Oh my god! Out of everything you could possibly whip out at the last second, that's what you do. So I'm there. We're working on it. I don't remember if there was comps or not. There must have been. But he basically just needed cash specifically, and I guess I could say what it was for. It was $30,000, and I vaguely remember at the time they were I think the last public comp was like 35 or 36 or something. Wow. But I know many people are asking in the 40s, so I'm like, okay. I could probably do this. This would be a crazy thumbnail, but I don't even know if I have that much cash on me. So I said, okay, well, let me count how much cash, and then if you take whatever, we can do it. I ended up having exactly, with my $5 bills, exactly had enough for 30,000 cash.
Not enough
so
money.
I walked away with no money in my bags from everything, and I was able to close the deal. Now, fun fact: this is a NBA gold label, kind of gimmicky, but basically they just put like a gold sticker on it and it's like extra clean, which to be fair, for like an old 2 cert, it is very, very nice. And it's one of 3 in the world. I already have one of the 3 originally part of my PC, and I know the person with the third one, and he told me afterwards he got offered 50,000 for his copy. So I would say it's a very, very exciting deal. I'm very happy I did it.
The last sale I'm aware of, Dylan, went for like 52.
That was Charlie's 12 cert, but yes, also very clean. 52.5 is what it sold for.
You did okay.
Yeah,
a little bit. You know, all of the hard days work. It's like a part-time job.
Incredible.
Oh my gosh. I love, oh, congrats, first of all. That's awesome. Thanks for showing it off. I love how before the pod, Jake, we were like, hey, so be sure to have one of these ready. And Dylan's like, oh man, I don't know. Maybe I'll just get inspired by one of you guys. And Jake's like, yeah, he's gonna absolutely like flex on us beyond any sort of recognition. And then sure enough,
you sparked my idea when all this time you kept saying like people walked up to my booth. I'm like, oh, this is really good. Walked up literally at the end. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. That's what's crazy is like, and maybe this is a quick piece of game for all of you vendors. Some like it's been not just a handful of times, but many times that my biggest deal of a show happens on like day 2 at like the last second of the show, or even after it's supposed to be closed, because like, you know, someone's just ready to do a deal and they're looking for someone to offload something or whatever it may be, or buy something. Like I think I talked about the Gold Star Rayquaza deal that I did on the last pod. I don't know if I mentioned that.
I think so.
Did I talk about it live?
I think so.
It was like 30 minutes before closing on day 2 and like relatively dead Sunday. And then, you know, that just kind of happens. And it's like, you just never know. So be at your table and be ready at that when that last minute strikes.
Yeah, I've had a couple shows where, and nothing like these sorts of $30,000 type deals or anything like that. But I've had deals where like half of the action of the entire weekend happens like right around 5 o'clock as I'm literally packing up or about to start packing up. So that is, I guess, free game for newer vendors. Like, give it a try a few times to stay around unless you have to run. You never know. And it does happen surprisingly often.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, that Zara, Dylan, is so awesome. I like my inner collector just wishes it was a modern style cert number, you know, or you know, certs whatever. And but still, like freaking Chris J. Charizard out now is so crazy.
Is he gonna grab one? What's happening?
He's like, oh yeah, let me just grab my other one. 12 cert.
I think that
Hold on. Oh my goodness.
This guy, yeah, 6. It's kind of a mid cert. Oh my
newer style.
New stream title. Bulbastore holds 100K in his hands. No sweat.
Those are my most expensive cards, though. And in all honesty, I don't really like the card. It's a cool card, but it's not like $50,000 cool to me. But I really want to finish my Skyward set. So that's the reason why I bought it. And I got it a long time ago when it was way cheaper. To be fair.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
Nice, man.
All right. What's next? What do we got next going on, guys?
It is time for us to get into the tall grass, I believe.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We embark onto Route 2. What will we encounter? Pidgey, Rattata, Shiny Pidgey.
Or Ascended Heroes / Mega Dream drops. So let's start here. Spoiler alert for anyone who really doesn't like getting spoiled on this stuff, but Mega Dream, I believe, just dropped in Japan, and we saw from one of those Chinese streamers that always seems to leak the news a day or two early, a lot of what is going to be in our English Ascended Heroes set, which, as we were like, oh, it's got, you know, Dragonite on the front and it doesn't mean anything anymore. You will see that we do get a Dragonite card. So I'm really interested in everyone's opinions on this. I had more of a reaction than I normally do to a new set like this. So I'm going to pull up some highlights and we kind of give some reactions. Have you guys seen these all yet? Or is any of this going to be new for you too?
I've seen this. I also on my FYP today had like I think it was like maybe a French couple was opening
Yeah, I
up
saw
one of the
that.
packs and it ended up being a God pack.
Yep.
And
Whoa.
man, the God pack is sick. And I'm so excited for this, and we'll talk about it. I'm so excited for this set, like in a big way. I like this set way more than Prismatic because it
Whoa.
has illustration rares.
Okay, well, already jumping into
That's a
All right,
your
yes, these are
takes.
hot
that's
takes
a hot
already being
take.
spewed out.
I'll give mine in a bit too. I wanted to start with this is I love this card. Rend as an artist, I actually don't always love because it's always a sort of 3D digital art style.
Yeah,
But this is one of the best side up cards ever.
it is. It's giving like Zelda Wind Waker. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, good shout with the background. It totally is.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I love this little guy. I think this Mischievous looks pretty cool.
Yep.
Is it just me or does Psyduck have like so many new cards?
Yeah, they're giving Psyduck a lot
Definitely.
of love,
They're
and I
Oh
pumping
think
yeah.
out
it's warranted.
cards.
Like, there's tons of big Psyduck collectors out there. It's not infrequent that people come to my table asking for niche Psyduck cards because they already have all the rest.
Yeah.
Black Star promo Psyduck, like it's not a super expensive card. It's one of those niche ones where it's like, ah, you could kind of always have one. There, someone will eventually come up.
Yeah,
We've got, I mean, Destin Rivals vibes with like some Team Rockets
for
cards. Team Rockets
sure. Some
Mimikyu
Destined
here.
Rivals overflow into this set for sure.
Trainer gallery feel here. Destin
Yeah.
Rivals, I mean, again, vibes. Interesting, unique cards here. I'm gonna pull up. We know we're getting some trainers cards like this one, kind of an interesting foil to the other one that we got in Journey Together.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna jump forward to some of these more full art ones. We know we're getting this, I believe, as a UPC. This is a promo, I think,
In
in
English, yes.
English, yeah. But I think they're pulls in Japanese. And we are seeing we've got this version of Omega Gengar in this set. We've got this version of Dragonite, and now we're getting into some of the big hits. I'm gonna hit all of them honestly, because I mean,
Yeah, go through all of them.
This Mega Frostlass is gas.
this is beautiful. This is so sick. This is a very What do you guys think of this one?
Awesome. It's
I love it. I love
incredible.
it.
I absolutely love it. Derp
Me too.
Pikachu is one of my spirit animals.
It's kind of
feels
drawn
big.
like the Bubble Mew.
Is it?
Yes.
Like that
Games Turner,
cartoony Bubble Mew style.
kind of. Yeah, this reminds me of a lot of the vintage, like kind of some of the stuff you're showing off, Jake. Like this is sort of Pikachu looks like this in some of the like 90s Japanese stuff
Yes.
and doesn't look like this after that or in the West very often. But this vibe is I loved it. I saw some people say that they hated it, but my immediate reaction was I have to have this
I
card.
think it's like probably the best representation of a terrestrial Pokemon, and it's not even in the Scarlet and Violet block because like it's almost like birthday Pikachu-ish, you know what I'm saying? Because it like of the color scheme and the crown like looks to fit the artwork and the background and everything. Like this is a
Totally.
great one.
I love this. Someone was asking earlier, by the way, to get my dog in this. He is feeling a little spazzy. We've got like my whole family in the house right now. So this is Gizmo. He's very attached to me. Just a quick cameo.
Shadow
Wait,
Gizmo.
is this like one of
Shadow
the hits SAR, like SIR ones, right?
It
Yes.
is an SAR.
I my only critique is it kind of looks plain. Like the background could have more stuff in it for an SAR. Like when you compare it to any of the other ones you're probably going to look at, the
But
background.
I think that's the point. I think it's in there to like be a like a less artistic card, but still a chase card. You know, like kind of a like if we compare it to the Dragonite or whatever that's coming up, like
Yeah.
there's so much less going on. I like that variation.
I guess
I'm
give
with you,
someone
Jake.
something for everyone.
I get your point though, Dylan. Actually, I didn't clock originally when I looked at this that this is an SAR, and it is a little weird that it's an SAR. It's filling the like rainbow
It
border
kind of looks
SAR
like the
slot.
regular one you would pull.
It
That's
it
like
does.
15
It
bucks.
does look totally. It does look a bit like the regular full arts. I think that's if you're gonna criticize it, that's valid. But I love him. He's my son now for sure. Let's keep moving. This is kind of a hazy one, but we've got an Electros here. We've got another Iono's Belly Bolt. A lot of like vibrant colors in this set for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is tough.
This is tough.
Very cool. That's pretty cool, actually.
This is tough. I mean, it's pretty easy that I prefer this over the one from Destined.
Me too.
Easily.
Me too. I think if you're going to criticize it, it's kind of similar to Dylan's take. It is a little plain. Like this isn't the most exciting looking card, and it is quite similar to the one from Destined.
Yeah.
It's spookier. I mean, I really dig it.
More menacing for sure.
Totally. 100%. Yeah, and it's an Arita, so in kind of typical Arita fashion, relatively plain. We've got, I think, Mega Diancie here.
Mm-hmm.
This Halucha, I think, is Akira Igawa. Yeah, very, very distinctive style.
This Halucha is so tough.
Is this the same person that did the Greninja? Because it's like the same to me.
No. Igawa did the Moltres from Destined Rivals and the Gold Gods from Crown Zenith.
Yeah. Yeah, this card and this art, it's like it's giving Aztec Warrior. Like it's so good.
So good. We've talked about this Gengar, so we don't need to go into it. We talked about this last stream.
That was pretty cool.
Boy.
He's got aura.
Oof.
I really like the way this is framed.
Me too.
The background of this reminds me a little bit of the Paldean Gardevoir.
Yes.
I love this card. We saw this one last time, the Grimmsnarl. We've got a very pink Unfazant. Stevens Metagross. As somebody who's clocked a lot of hours in Gen 3, I was excited to see this guy.
Me too. Metagross has deserved a big card.
Yeah. Completely agree. And then...
Yes. They saved him.
The goofiness of the wings is not visible here. The artist did a great job here. No. And it's got the full evolution line, which is clearly now a very clear pattern that this is going to be the thing in this era.
That was nice. Cotton candy vibes.
Cotton candy vibes for sure. It reminds me of the Sylveon VMAX from Evolving.
Yes.
And then we've got some trainers. When I was playing the game, I told my wife, I was like, I don't know if it's Canary or Canary, the pronunciation, but I was like, this character is like they're trying to do the new Iono, but different color palette, and it's going to get some cool cards. So we're starting to see her. We've got another Surfer.
What's the gold one? Dragonite?
Gold one's Dragonite.
Yes.
So we know we're getting some reverses. I think not Master Ball. We're just getting different types of reverses here. So I think that's what we know. I mean, I think it's pretty much everything. But what's the verdict? We heard Jake. So what's the verdict on the set here?
I think it'll be pretty popular. Personally, though, I'm not a big fan of any of the Pokemon specifically. And to be very fair, I usually don't collect the newer sets like at all. Unless there's a Bulbasaur, so very, very niche. I do think it's better. I think it's this is the third one. I think this is the best one so far, though.
Definitely. So, I mean, it's a specialty set, right? So it's designed to be more collector focused. But 22 SIRs, I believe, is what it says on the English set breakdown.
Wow.
And very excited for that. And the fact there's illustration rares. My only worry is that the rumblings are that the release schedule is going to be broken up into, at release day, you're only going to be able to get like 3-pack blisters and maybe bundles, but the ETBs aren't dropping until like April.
Mm-hmm.
And so as far as getting your hands on enough packs to rip, good luck, guys. Good luck. We'll see.
What do you guys think will shake out to be like top 3 hits?
Definitely Gengar.
Yeah.
Gengar Dragonite, you think for sure?
Gengar Dragonite.
The rest comes down to pull rates, right? Like if this Pika's really low pull rate, Yeah.
Yeah,
Third one
probably
depends.
Mewtwo.
Yeah, it really depends on, yeah, you're
The
seeing.
Zoroark is going to be pretty strong, I bet.
Yeah.
People love
I
it.
I love this set. I mean, when I saw this, I was like, oh no. They really cooked hard with this one.
Yeah.
Multiple chases of popular. I'm surprised to hear you say, Dylan, that you don't have. I guess I forget that Dylan is like a decade younger than you and me, Jake. And so like some of these, he's like, ew, Gen 1 WotC era stuff. And I'm sitting here like me and Jake, like Gengar is my second favorite. Dragonite's probably my third or fourth, in my top five.
Yeah.
So those two being chases really does a lot for me here for sure.
Oh, one
Yeah,
second, guys. My camera
never
died.
had Dragonite or Gengar on my team, so I don't have any nostalgia for it.
Wow.
But I do.
Wow.
I like Gengar as a concept. I think he's a really cool Pokemon. Oh, the gold card that would obviously be like first. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. I heard Jake, you were saying your camera went down, but we've still got you connected here, so no worries.
Yeah, I'll be right
Get set
back.
back up. Yeah, no sweat, man. Okay, that is our first Hitmon topic here. Chat definitely going off with takes here too. Definitely great set. People are saying they don't like. Yeah, I saw someone also earlier say a little bit of like Crown Zenith energy, which I agree with. And then someone was correcting me, Pheasantipity, not in Fazant. Yes, they're the same, based on the same bird in real life, but I totally got that mixed up. You're all right. Okay. Pull rates on Phantasmal. We were kind of talking about this last time because Jake had commented that a lot of the Charizard from this set had come up to his booth. And we knew that it's a smaller set, so we were wondering what's the pull rate compared to some other sets from recent eras. And so the answer for any SIR from Phantasmal is 1 in 80, which if we want to contrast that to, I think there was one in here for Prismatic. Is 1 in 1440 for any specific SIR. Sorry, that was the stat I was looking for. 1 in 400 for any specific SIR. So much more likely to pull the specific card that you want to in the Charizard versus some sets like Prismatic. So kind of an interesting little data point. I don't know. Do you pay attention to pull rates and things like that, Dylan?
I do not. I was just about to ask if this was like official public, but I read the bottom. That
They
it's like
never
a
they
sample of I was like, I didn't know they ever published this stuff, but I see it's from a sample. No, I
yeah
usually, because again, I'm not much of a puller, so I don't
yeah
really care about the pull rates, and you can kind of infer. Like, I always think like they that are not going to like make one SIR more rare than another, but then I see sometimes that it is. But I would just think like as a business wise to them, it's the same. It's
yeah
just kind of like rarities that would be rarer than others, not specific ones in that rarity.
yeah
So like I don't really pay attention to the pull rate, and that seems a lot higher than I guess my own personal experiences from seeing. I guess maybe you always see the highlights, or you just get really lucky from one-offs. But like every single case I've opened had of booster bundles had a gold in it, which is way less than 1260. So
Case
I'm like,
of bundles, you say?
yeah, like a case of the booster bundles.
So there's 25 bundles, right?
Yeah, so that's like
150 packs.
50, but yeah. So every single one, I've opened like 4 cases had one. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, we pulled a gold in our first case of booster boxes, and so far not in our second.
Case of booster boxes. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, our first case we had 3 SIRs and then the 1 gold Charizard.
Wow. Okay. Jake, I don't know if you had popped out for a second while we were getting to the brass tacks on this. Prismatic, 1 in 1440 per specific SIR, 1 in 400 for specific SIR and Phantasmal. So we get some of that data from what we were talking about in the last stream. It is more common. Your instinct that it was pumping up 3 or 4 times more than some other recent SIRs is, I think, mathematically supported.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that makes sense because if I remember right, Obsidian Flames was also a much more favorable pull rate. Um, so maybe that's kind of a trend. Maybe the Charizard
Huh.
set they're trying to be a bit more lenient on.
I'm thinking that I think they're kind of power creeping the SIR. Like, you know how like every rarity kind of gets power crept throughout the generations? Like full arts were the hit from black and white. Now you kind of like you almost throw them away. It's like bulk.
Sure.
So I think maybe they're phasing out, not phasing out, but they're making them a little bit more accessible, slightly like 3 times more. And they're now trying to do like a super exclusive with their mega hyper rare. So it's got to kind of push it down to put in their new one.
Mm. Yeah, that's fair. Just to, but like the gold card, it is like mathematically the hardest rarity of any rarity type in Pokemon history, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're also kind of raising the bar on that at the same time. So they're not power creeping too hard, at least.
Oh man, I hadn't even thought of that. But you're right. In Mega Evolution, so I think that's a better set as a benchmark. A specific Mega Hyper Rare, 1 in 2520. That's got to be the lowest percentage rarity
Easily.
for a
I mean,
specific card, right? That's
think
got to
about it,
be.
guys. What's so crazy is like what back in Gen 3, you'd pulled 2 gold stars per case, right? Something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
So it's like one every other box.
Yeah.
Mathematically, this is one every like 95 boxes.
Mm, wow.
Well, I guess any hit would be one every like 45 boxes, right? But still, that's 20 times harder to hit than a gold star.
Wow. And they're printing way more now volume wise than they used to. So I don't know what that means for the overall population, but now it's got me like I get that obviously demand has a lot to do with value, but like are these undervalued? Is there an argument that those cards are undervalued?
I think personally, most people don't like them. So the rarity and the non-popularity are like flattening it.
Sure.
Like
I
if
could
they
see
were
that.
like a no-brainer, that's the best art I've ever seen. Like everyone agrees, and it was that rare. I think it'd be like
Mhm.
over 1,000 easily. But
Yeah.
like I think most people don't like it on average. I think
Mm.
it's like kind of
Yeah, I feel like
Mm.
maybe they would have done. I mean, the goal. I personally like them, but I think what would have been even more readily accepted is more of those like BWRs, like they had in the Black Bolt White Flare. That hollow pattern is like so cool to me, and seems to me like it's seen as a better chase card from those sets than these gold
Yeah.
ones are. You know what I mean?
This one actually doesn't have the data for those.
Those are so
Uh,
gas. I absolutely I
but they're
love
cool.
I love how the lettering is all silver. It's so
Mhm.
good.
They're really cool in person.
Yes. And
When I
the
saw them,
texture, the deep texture.
yeah, yeah, it's really cool.
like imagine
Yeah.
if they made a like an almost 3D card where the texture was like super crazy, and then that
Yeah.
have that hit.
Mm.
That would be astronomical for
Yeah.
sure.
Or I mean, there's that lenticular Deoxys card,
So yeah,
maybe they
some
go
kind
that
of
route
new
that way.
gimmick.
That's what I thought of the lenticular deoxys. Imagine they did something like that.
Those things are so like thick though. Like
Yeah,
you'd have
yeah.
to take out 3 or
Yeah,
4
you
of
would
the
take out a
cards from your
card.
pack.
It's kind of how they do it in sports.
Yeah.
Mm, interesting. All right. Well, that was our phantasmal pull rates. We don't have to go too deep into this unless we think it's interesting, but I was kind of just looking at like the precipitous drop in value from like pre-release to release to right now for this Charizard or for the sort of the boxes themselves.
Yeah.
Is this a little steeper for Phantasmal? I expected it probably to be a little steeper, particularly because it's a smaller set, and we see that sometimes. Like we saw that with Stellar Crown being a smaller set. What do you guys? I don't know. Any interesting takes on this?
So we know that the Phantasmal release is the same as Mega, which means they're doing booster boxes and an additional wave of booster boxes just a few weeks after release. So it's going to be even steeper here soon, I think. I think it's also Phantasmal doesn't have a box topper, so I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future we see Phantasmal boxes go to the same price or even less than Mega. And yeah, it's just a small set, and similar to Obsidian back in the day. Like, obviously there's these big Charizards to chase if you're looking to master set or something, but like you could master set almost everything else with one case of booster boxes. So there's not going to be a huge reason to continue ripping this, except for that kind of like, ultra awesome experience of pulling the Charizard. So yeah, when I look at Mega Dream too, I'm like, well, how are we getting so many good arts in Mega Dream and just such a short set in Phantasmal from like a hit standpoint?
I'm not sure why, other than it lined up with the specialty set. It's a specialty set, like a high
Right.
class set in Japanese and stuff, right? I don't know. I don't know. This yeah feels really stacked compared to Phantasmal. Really deep set.
Yes. Like put the
Okay.
Gengar in Phantasmal. Like why
I
not?
know. I know. That's what I thought. That's what I thought was going to happen.
That would
Yeah.
balance it out for sure. And then you add a gold Gengar, because I don't know why that was only
Yes.
one gold in the first one, that too.
Yeah, that seems like a slam dunk. But then again, like, I mean, let's be honest, guys. The Pokemon Company knows you put Charizard in a set, and you don't need to do much else. It's gonna sell.
Yeah. 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 It's true. It's like the UFC putting Conor McGregor on a card. It's like, we just put Conor at the top, and then all the other fights are bad, and you're gonna buy it. It's still gonna
That's
break records.
a great point.
Same thing. Um, okay. Another Hitmon topic that I had here, I don't have a screen share for, but just an observation I had, and we were talking a little bit about this before the stream, is I saw on Instagram a lot of folks at some of these big shows this past weekend, like Collecticon, particularly younger guys, like these 17-year-olds that go to these shows on the weekends between doing homework and stuff, buying an unbelievable volume of slabs, like 1 to 5,000 units or more, and often of like $20 slabs, and they're paying close to or 100% of comps. So I was like, man, what? I asked a few of them, like, what are you doing this for? I had my guesses. It's like, it's obviously not vending inventory exclusively. And all of them said the same thing, which is that they are sourcing to offload to repackers or like mystery pack guys. I think not always the like major institutional players we talked about in the last stream, but I think the way this works, and you guys tell me if you know more than I do on this, the way this works is like you walk the show, you buy 5,000 $20 slabs at 80 to 100% of market. The repacker knows that their average ability to extract the average amount that they can extract out of something like a $20 slab is maybe 150% of market. They can get $30. They can do a $30 mystery pack and sell a lot of $20 slabs that way. So they have a lot of margin there. And then you get 5, 10, 15% margin just offloading all of them, and they like don't really care what the card is, the collectability, the population. It's just a volume thing. And I was very interested to see how common this was, because these are people that would normally be vending or looking for gradable cards, and like this is how they're choosing. They're optimizing to choose their time, to spend their time this way instead of doing those other things. I thought this was really interesting. What do you guys know or see on your end, being full-timers at these big shows physically?
It makes sense to me that this would be happening, and I've been observing it as well. And people that I know that I vended alongside and had a more traditional kind of booth with singles and slabs and stuff have converted their entire business at these shows to just bringing stacks of cash and buying every opportunity they can. Every person they walk up, they just ask them, "Hey, what are you selling? What are you selling?"
Mm.
And buying huge volume to immediately flip. And obviously I have my opinions about that, but I'm not surprised that it exists, right? I mean,
Mhm.
anytime that you create this arbitrage and there's kind of a large pool of money, that this kind of thing's going to happen until it can't. And then it also makes sense that it would be these, younger guys that are, have these connections with the employees probably of these repack companies, because these younger guys are willing to travel all over the country, be in different city, different every other weekend. and kind of do the legwork that's required to acquire all of this inventory that these repack companies need. Like they have an
Hmm.
insatiable hunger for slabs on their slab games. They're being used all day long, every hour of the day. So yeah, I don't know if it'll always be this way, just because like at a certain point you don't need as much inventory. You'll just need enough to replace. Um, but yeah, that's I'm seeing it too. And Dylan, I know you've got some experience with these guys as well.
So yeah, I know there's different companies buying different things and like different tiers of stuff. So for like but the principle is kind of the same. So for all these smaller packs, you're right in the sense that the even if it's a $20 card, they're still gonna put it in at 30-40 bucks and they'll still pay you out. But it's pretty much easy tendies, you know what I mean, for the vendors. So it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's exclusively, but like pretty much anyone, old or young, if you come across like it's like another outlet for you to sell. Because typically most people, if you see like cheaper, non-desirable slabs, you're just going to pass on them. But now, if you have a Connect, I don't even know if it's that hard anymore. Um, then you can start buying these things. You can add it to your repertoire, or you could just go all in. Similar to how there's people that specialize in like bulk, right? Some people pass on
Hmm.
bulk, but if you have like a bulk Connect, then you can just buy bulk and make your little percentage there. Because the more the easier it is for you to guarantee a sell, the less of a margin you're willing to take because it's more guaranteed.
Mm.
So these guys can pay high and they get like pretty much a guaranteed profit. So it's like a win-win for both the buyer and the seller, and the buyer and the seller of the slab. So it's not too surprising to see, and it's just more popular now because
Hmm.
those new companies are just making more money, so they have more demand.
Hashtag easy tendies. Easy tendies. It must be easier tendies than the other stuff because these guys that are doing this are they're very active vendors. Like they have success vending in sort of the traditional sense. So that they're saying, oh, rather than setting up, we're going to run around and buy slabs all weekend. It's really interesting to see. And our friend Tiny Flame in the chat, as always, sharing some. Right, the margin can be even greater than what I was talking about, right? $25 slabs at 100% of market. They could go in a $75 mystery slab bag. Definitely can, for sure. We got your brother, the Jarvatar, asking if you have purchased from one of these companies. I have. I'm not a gambler really at all, but I bought, probably spent a few $100s on Courtyard, maybe have net lost $100, mainly because I was curious. So right when this first started coming out, like maybe 3 months ago, I did it a little bit and uh, probably lost all of that eventually, spinning it a bunch of times. And then another time I went in and I did $100 pack, got a $328 Toros, sold it back, and of course used that to run it all the way down to zero. So I think I probably net spent 150 bucks or so when I could have been up 500 if I walked, but it wasn't. Anyway, I just done it on those two occasions, and I was just really interested in seeing how they're set up, like how they work. So I haven't done one in a while, and that's the Courtyard's the only one I've done personally. I don't know about you guys.
I haven't done it, but I do think it's interesting. I watched a Twice Baked Jake video where he spent like $1,000 and he just opened a
Mhm.
bunch of packs, and it's pretty cool to see.
Mm.
Like I would want to watch someone spend 10 grand on it and just see what you get because it costs you nothing, but you pretty much get the same experience. So it's just like another it's like I would say it's like opening up watching someone open up like a Skyridge booster box. Like it's just interesting to see what you can pull and if they get anything crazy, get some clips out of it. So
Hmm.
I think it's interesting. I don't think I would personally open. I guess I would maybe for like a video sometime down the line if I feel like it, but I wouldn't see myself opening it for the joy of opening it. Like I actually was like, oh, I got to do this one.
Yeah. Yeah, for whatever reason, like my brain like knows logically that it's a similar thing as opening a booster pack from like a, an odds standpoint and pulling the card you actually want and this kind of stuff. But for whatever reason, they're just not the same to me. They're not quite the same. Like opening the pack, I don't know. It's like it feels for maybe this is just incredible marketing by the Pokemon
Yeah,
company that they've rewired my brain to think that opening a pack is more wholesome and is like a more, I guess, appropriate way to engage with the hobby.
yeah,
But I still feel that way. So maybe that'll
yeah.
change in the future.
They do have physical power packs though in game
Yeah,
store.
it's not about like the digital nature of it. I don't think.
I see. You're just talking about like I thought you meant like the online. Was it?
Yeah, no, I just think it's I haven't done any of the power packs or digital things for myself,
Mm.
as far as like the GameStop ones or whatever. Um, but yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see how many of these companies are long term because I've now done deals and worked out deals with like 5 or 6 different companies that are doing this, and I don't know, maybe they can all exist simultaneously, but it seems like one of them is going to emerge as kind of like this is where you should, this is the best place to be doing this kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. And then they'll eventually stop being the best by monetizing that and screwing over the end consumer, like most things go.
Yeah,
And then someone new will come in.
yeah. It's a fascinating topic though, right? Because then at the same time, like your logical brain could go to, well, Pokemon Company's doing the same thing. Like they're putting a kind of basically a wheel spin, an RNG game into every single pack. But I still, for whatever reason, I perceive it as different.
I I agree with you. And I think it is largely marketing and emotional. I mean, part of it is that there's decades of precedent for it. I
Yes,
think part of it is that the individual pack is priced harmlessly.
sure.
So I think that's part of it, is that Pokemon is not selling $75 packs like an option to, like I think that would feel really different if that was the way that packs were structured, that you had a better chance to get something better out of a more expensive pack I think would feel different. Um, and I don't know, man. It's yeah, maybe it's Stockholm syndrome. You're just
Yeah.
you've got you just love the Pokemon company, and you're happy to continue to sort of be a little bit abused by it, and you wouldn't want to be abused by it. You don't have a relationship with these repackers,
So
but
true. It's my new custodian on the block I don't trust. But maybe it's just because like in my mind I still see ripping a pack as like the experience of going into the tall grass on my Game Boy. Like what's going to show up? Is it Mankey? Is it Nidoran? Is it Geodude or whatever? Like that's still kind of fun for me. So who knows?
yeah, I get it.
Ricky, you brought up an interesting point, but don't you think? Do you think if Pokemon Company had a $5 base pack, but for $75 you would get a guaranteed SIR from that set? Don't you think that one would fly off the shelf? Like everyone would rather buy that pack than the $5 pack? Or is that just me? Like I would buy that, knowing you guaranteed get. You don't know which one, but you get like one of the good ones. It could be the Mega Gengar or it could be the Mega whatever the worst one is. But you get a
I
guaranteed hit.
It's basically what Japanese high class sets are.
Yeah,
Actually, all Japanese booster boxes, especially the high class sets, have a more guaranteed like 1 in 10
in a box.
for the SIR. But yeah, same thing with Japanese,
But
and
for
it's because of consumer protection laws. So
a
I don't,
guaranteed
Dylan,
pack.
I don't know the answer to your question. I'd have to think about it. Would it fly off the shelves? I mean, if the question is would I buy them and go broke buying them, then the
Or
answer is
which one would you
obviously
rather buy?
yes.
Like, would you rather buy
I'd buy them
whatever?
all, man. I'd buy them all. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to think about it, man. Is it different? Yeah. What came to mind for me was the same thing that Jake said. It's like that's already how it is in Japanese, and
An official
it's a bit
mystery
just.
pack?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. You ready for this? They
Oh,
did
mystery
this.
packs.
They did this with prismatic surprise
Oh.
boxes. Like a prismatic surprise box is their first like attempt at like a guaranteed mystery plus some packs so you feel good about it. So if you pull the Flareon promo and not the Umbreon, you're like, oh well, I still got 4 packs I can open and hopefully pull something nice out of. Like the Pokemon Company does this. They do it now.
Oh, you're right. But and then those are almost
It's interesting.
always not that valuable if you think about it. Like the
Yeah.
promo is basically like a random. It's basically essentially a random promo. So then
Yeah.
that shows that the value is just because it's hard to pull.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, and you think about it this way, like objectively, I think a large swath of the hobby would agree that the Mega Charizard artwork from Phantasmal is a better artwork than the Sunbreon from Prismatic. I think most people would agree with that. But the Sunbreon is way more expensive. Why? Because it's harder to pull. So, like, the fact that it's harder is, the fact that English packs aren't guaranteed and all this kind of stuff. Like, there's something there.
Yeah. The surprise box point is kind of actually melting my brain. Like I didn't actually make that connection, and I started picturing like Pokemon Labubus. Like why did you're right, the surprise box didn't do that well as a concept.
I think the only missing link there is that it's not the same card. So like if imagine if that surprise box had every single prismatic SIR, would
Yes,
those
Yeah. Yeah.
would the
Yeah.
product itself just be expensive or would the SIR just drop in value?
both.
Both.
But yeah, the surprise box would be more expensive. The SIRs would be cheaper.
Yeah.
But like, here's the thing. I agree. Like, if it's an artwork issue. Like those stamped promos are kind of weak. But if they had like SIRs that were only findable in the surprise
Yeah.
boxes that kind of were in addition to what was happening in the set, like those things would be insano. Like you'd be seeing those ripped every second online, and you'd never be able to keep surprise boxes in stock anywhere.
Were they just testing the what?
Yes, I think so,
Th-
Ricky. I
that
think
was
they were
what it
testing
was.
the moral waters, and no one said
Yeah.
anything. So they're like, "Oh yeah, miss, we can maybe try this a little bit more in the future."
Oh no, and we're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Oh man. We're going down the path of the serialized cards topic. I could feel it.
Yes, we are.
Okay. That was fun on that topic. Let's shift from Hitmon topics into a Gyarados of reality. And I think something we didn't talk a lot about last time we touched on it, but the downturn and this talk of like it's a buyer's market. And you guys, your experience at these shows, like are we net buyers, are we net sellers recently? One thing I've noticed that things have continued to drop gradually. Bubble Mew is over 20% below its peak. So by many definitions, that's a market crash. Not everything has come down that percentage, but we've crossed the 20% threshold for some of these things from their highs. And about 2 months ago in September was when that card peaked. So is it a buyer's market? What should we be doing as vendors? What should the people in the chat who may or may not be vendors, it might just be collectors, or like how are we interacting with this? And then I think the follow-on question from this is something someone asked earlier, which is uh, do we adjust buy and sell percentages in a market like we are currently in? And when we kind of like really zoom into how it feels right now, what do you guys think?
I'll answer the first part of the question, which is, how do we respond to this market? Well, part of this is kind of going to be forced upon you, which is, and I know that Ern mentioned this in one of his videos, Ricky. He said something about like, hey, in a down market, there's just never been a time where I've had as much liquid capital as I want to
Yeah.
be able to make the plays that I think are out there. Like, there's so many opportunities right now of things that have gone down 20 or more percent that you could for sure see going back up to their all-time highs and beyond. But like, you could spend an infinite amount of money on on all those plays. And
Mm.
so a part of this question is going to be forced upon you with like, how much liquid capital do you actually have available, slash how much liquid capital are you comfortable putting into the hobby right now that you don't need other places? Like, that's kind of a risk tolerance question. But what I'm doing is, what I'm seeing is kind of a general kind of slowdown on almost everything modern. Almost everything Sun and Moon and forward is down like 20% or more.
Mhm.
And so I'm just picking like, what are the obvious winners, like the best of the best things that have been released in the last 5 years. And that's where I'm putting the bulk of my extra kind of speculation money right now. So, like, for example, this weekend at Front Row Pasadena, I bought 4 Evolving Skies booster boxes, all for $2,000 a piece from vendors because they were wanting to get out of them. Like, Evolving Skies was selling for $2,600 like 8 weeks ago.
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, that's an obvious winner. And then I bought I think 8 more sealed bundle displays of 151 bundles. Because I think that's just like the premium 151 product aside from maybe ETB/PC ETB. But like I look at those bundle displays as like kind of like, a booster box equivalent, but it's for a specialty set. But there's 60 packs in there. And so the fact that I can get those for like, $1,100 or $1,200 compared to a lot of booster boxes these days that are higher end or well above 2K. And 151 is like definitely as good a set as any of these boxes that are, 2K and above. Like so much of this stuff from Sun Moon XY that's above $2,000 a box. 151 is a better set in every way. And so it's cheaper to get more packs. Like I think that's an easy play for me. So those obvious winners are kind of where I'm playing around right now.
Oh wait, I want to pick your brain on the bundle. Are you telling you buy the sealed display of the booster bundles?
That's right, like the big
those
rectangle.
have an insane premium over just loose sealed booster bundles.
Yes, they do.
So what's your think? Like, would you rather have $1,500? I don't know, more physical, like actual packs of the like 151 versus that sealed? And what's your thinking on that?
I think it's the same premium that you would see on a booster box of anything. Like a booster box of Ultra Prism is way more than 36 packs of Ultra Prism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is kind of a well-accepted phenomenon. Mm-hmm. And I think the bundle display in 151 is like this set's version of that at the most extreme level. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's just like a winning product, in my opinion.
I like that. I know I like that one because there's people I talk to that's on your side, and then there's other people that would they're just like
maximize.
You can't like weigh a booster bundle or like tamper really with it.
Sure.
So to them, that's their like mini booster. But you're going like big booster box, they go mini booster box. So I know people that are only buying the single ones.
Yeah, it's also like a scarcity play. Like there's so many more loose booster bundles out there than there are booster bundle displays that are sealed. So it's just like a collectible scarcity kind of like you can't buy a bundle display at a vending machine, but you can buy a single bundle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
It's definitely more exclusive like the PC ETB is. For me with 151 English, I have some loose individual bundles that I'm hanging on to, but the product I went to that you didn't mention, Jake, is the UPC. I own several of
those this weekend.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess like you didn't mention the UPC as like sort of one of the premier products for 151. I'm curious why not, or did you just not think of it?
I think it is. I think it's up there. It's got incredible promos. But I also was just thinking about like the economy of space.
Yeah, sure.
The value per square inch, and also the number of packs, kind of thing. But the UPC for 151 it's an incredible product. It's like a top 10 product from Scarlet and Violet, in my opinion.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just curious. I wouldn't have changed my mind either way. My DD on buying 5 or 6 of them when they were all they were just sitting on shelves at Costco for a minute, 90 or $110 or whatever. So I bought a handful of them around that time. But I opened 1 or 2 of them, and I used the same logic there as I did with some of the celebration stuff, which is my wife and I opened it. It was really fun. In the future, people will want to display and open this.
Yes.
So I have one that I bought an acrylic for that's designed for that size of UPC. That's just like I'll keep it forever, never open it, never sell it. And I got several more to just sort of help fund those as they sort of inevitably appreciate. And I believe in those promos in them too. So I was just curious because you didn't mention it, but I think it's a great product.
Any plays you're making, Dylan, before we dive into the second part of this question, which is about buy rates?
Play like for 151? Or just
no, general? Just like, what do you everything has kind of had a value change in the last few weeks.
Sure.
So what are some of the things that you're thinking about?
I personally don't think it's gonna rebound like as fast as it drops. Like if it does rebound, it would like, because right now it's like pff, and it's not gonna go back up like that. If it does rebound, or when, I suppose, it'll be like a little bit steadier. So right now, as the year wraps up too, I'm not looking to deploy that much into anything specifically.
Yeah.
But my strategy, I suppose, is I'm trying to basically, even if you told me a card was guaranteed to drop in value 15% in 2 weeks, I would still buy it, because my goal is to try and flip that as soon as possible. Like, absolutely as soon as possible. And that, I guess, kind of leading into the thing, it opens up my buying possibilities, because people are they're guessing like, oh, a lot of people are selling their collection because they think the market's going to go down. So people that think the market's going to go down is willing to take less percentage, because 70% today might be 100% 2 weeks from now. So they're willing to take that gamble. And
they're carrying the risk because they're carrying the items.
Exactly. So then my goal, you could tell me, I have an Oracle crystal ball, these cards will drop 30% 2 weeks from now. I'll still take it at 30% less, because my goal is to try and sell it right before, and I'll buy it if I'm confident I can. So that's kind of like my plays, and being able to get that extra wiggle room of the uncertainty is more risky, because it could drop, but then more reward.
So are you saying that, like, in an environment like this where things are actively falling, you're not being any more judicious about like the types of things that you're buying compared to what you were a couple months ago when everything was on the way up?
I mean, I've already been judicious. Like, there's some stuff that all the stuff that I would normally not buy, I still normally not buy.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that I would normally buy, even if it's dropping, I would still buy it. Yeah. So there's nothing that I can think of.
You just trust in your sales channels as you have in the past, regardless of the market environment.
Yeah, because I mean, this is like the fourth downturn I've had. I've done this rodeo before, so and eventually, fingers crossed, eventually it'll go back up. So even if there are some times where certainly I'll buy something, it goes down, and I don't make any money at all, or even lose money. But on average, for everything I buy, I'll still flip like maybe 80% of everything I bought. I'll be able to flip it, and that covers everything else. So it's the extra, not liquidity, but more volume of being able to buy during this. Because in the opposite, when everything was super popping like 2 months ago, you had to pay super high, because everyone's like, next week it's going to be 20% more. So people are just holding on to their stuff, or already pricing that in, like asking over comps. So I think it works both ways.
Interesting.
Like, the more confident you are, the less margin, I guess. You're like, a buyer is not going to take 70% if they think it's going up. Yeah, they will take 70% if they think it's going down.
In general, I am the same exact way. Like, my business is my business, and the sales channels I have are in place, and so I'm confident in the things that I'm confident in. And like you said, there's things that I just almost never buy, and there's things that like I almost always buy when the opportunity presents themselves. But like, in general, I am seeing that like there is a benefit to being flexible in general approach, just a little bit changing depending on the market condition. Like, for example, with so much uncertainty in the slab market, I'm not going out and trying to acquire as many slabs as I have, or like, making as many offers on them as I have in the past. I'm more singles than slabs at this moment. And that's for a lot of reasons, but also because like, I think that, because when the market is less certain, the average collector is going to be more willing to spend, 50 to 150 on a card that they like, rather than 150 to 300, right? Just kind of spitballing random numbers there.
I think I want to adjust my thing. When I say I won't buy stuff, I will buy anything if I think I can make money on it. So
He'll buy
I'll have
anything and email him at the Bulbastore at Gmail.
like I will literally buy anything, and everything has different numbers for me in my head that I'm confident I'll make money on. So if it crosses that threshold, I'll buy it. So I will buy a CGC 5.5 base set card for $2. You know what I mean? Like for 30% market, 50% market. But then I basically, when people come up, I will have my like, okay, I know I can make money for sure, or very confident at this rate, but the going rate, like the market rate, I tell lots of people every show like someone's going to pay you way more than I would, so I'll pass on it, but I would buy it. So like if someone brought me a Poncho Pikachu 2 months ago, I would pay 75% for it, but no one's going to sell it for 75%. So I'll just say someone else will pay you more than it. But it's not that I don't want it. I would just don't want it for the premium or like the going rate. But I will buy anything and everything. Just I have my own mental rates for different stuff. So I just compare it to what I think the competition will pay. And if I have like a strong offer, I'll be like, oh, I'll buy it from you. And if I know for sure someone, I'll be like, dude, just walk around. Someone's going to pay you at least more than me.
Yeah.
What I love about that
transparency at the table, though, is like oftentimes you'll tell people that and they'll still be like, yeah, but I want you to buy it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, that does happen. And I'm like, okay. Or they'll tell you like, this guy offered me 800 and I'm like, I'll be at 750. They're like, 750 is good with me.
750 sounds fair. Well, your money's greener than his.
Yeah, I was like, okay, if you care.
I love it.
I've had that happen. I think that's for lack of a better word, like a benefit or a privilege of building an audience through content. So for folks that are vending, like that is one of the things that people who create content may have an advantage over you, is that they can literally pay a lower percent. People still do the deal. I've had it happen too. But people want to do that deal with that person for whatever reason, the experience, to say that they did, to be in the video, to just because they trust that person because there's hours of footage of them.
Trust is a huge piece.
Of course.
Trust is a huge piece. Like in a business of like subjectivity of value, like trust is such a huge piece.
What are you laughing at, Dylan?
I was just thinking a little bit of a tangent, but in New Jersey, this guy came up to me and he wanted to do a coin flip, which I'm very well known for. And contrary to popular belief, I don't like coin flip. I don't like double. I use coin flips as a negotiating tactic, but double or nothing coin flips is true. Like usually it's win less or win more for me in my head, but double or nothings are true win or lose. So I really don't like doing them, but I still do them for entertainment. And honestly, most of the people that come up want to do it. But there's this one guy who's so adamant. I was like, I don't really want to do it. And he was like, can we please? And he wanted to do a multiple because he saw the video I did where I did multiple. And I told him straight up, I said, okay, I will do it only if it's such a huge favor in my, it's so favored on my side that mathematically I can't decline it. I won't be sad even if I lose. And then he was like, let's run it. I'm like, okay, 30%, whatever you want to sell, 30% off, whatever you want to buy, increase it by 30%. That one, I want that one. I want that. I'm like, and I started losing a couple. His friends were gassing him up. And I'm just like, I can't be mad at the math though. Like it's just math. And at the end of course, at the end, I ended up net positive. But it's just that I was just laughing because it reminded me. I'm like, some people just want it for the experience, I guess.
Yeah, but they do.
It's like
It's not unlike Vegas though, right? People like on the net, you're gonna lose. Like it's designed for you to lose.
But it's just so egregious. Like
yeah. Good point.
I remember at Card Party, Dylan was right next to your booth, Jake, and I was coming and hanging out back there from time to time. Yes. And I come up and I'm like, hey man, how's the show going? And Dylan's like, I did a double or nothing with your guy. And I won't blow again because I don't know if that video's come out yet or not.
You can say it doesn't matter.
Okay. The DGen Collectibles guys that infamously that you did a double or nothing for like a 10K plus number previously. And I believe you won that one. And then we ran it back at Card Party and you did not win this one.
I did not. But it was at 30%. So
It was all consuming. At the end of the next day, at the end of the weekend, I'm like, how'd it go? And you're like, other than that double or nothing. Like, it was
other
just
than that
like,
one,
it
other
ruined
than
your
that,
whole
like
weekend.
it sucks to lose, but you can't. It's like if someone offered you to do a coin flip, you win $100 or you lose $30. Like mathematically, you just should do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if you lose, it sucks to lose, but like you
Yeah.
can't go wrong with it.
I love it. Well, we're already kind of dovetailed into the second part of the question, which is about buy
Yeah.
rates.
Yeah.
And like the simple answer for me is when there's a huge swing in the number of people that are trying to sell, then the seller market, the market of sellers gets more and more competitive because then the balance swings in that favor, and there's just a lower percentage of buyers on this side who are ready to accept the goods and have the finances to pay for it. And so they get to and have to be more picky about what deals they say yes to. And so, I've had an uptick, like I think we've all probably noticed, in people either offering to sell to us at the table or selling to us through social media. And, I've gotten to the point where I just have to ask people like, hey, like what percentage were you hoping on these items? And obviously, the percentage I'm comfortable with varies on the type of item.
Yeah.
But I just kind of let them start. And if they're that like, hey, I need 85% on these, then I'm just like, hey, like that deal can't be for me, because I have all these other people who are not at that place. And it doesn't make sense to deploy capital in for smaller margins when there's so many sellers.
Yeah. There's still a lot of people, some vendors too, you got to change with the times, that are still stuck in 2 months ago market. They're
Yes.
bringing stuff to me like, oh, this one is more than the last. I'm asking more than comps. I'm like, buddy, have you been paying attention to everything? Like gold stars. He's like, this one last sold for like 2K in September, but like the grade higher above it sold for less than what he's asking. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta it's gotta make sense. Like everything's kind of down, and sometimes they'll be like, you're right. Sometimes they're like, nah, I know what I got. All right, buddy.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Best of luck, my friend.
This is the price memory thing we've brought up plenty of times, right? Adjusting your price memory accordingly. You're like, well, I could get that box for $200. You're like, yeah, like X amount of time ago, and things have changed since then. So if you've got price memory for things that's more than a few weeks old, you do have to go check. So my short answer to this question is also yes. It was very common to buy 85% on a lot of things when it was easy to sell those things close to market. And it is harder right now to sell a lot of those things close to market. And I don't know, Dylan, you just did a story sale. I can't even imagine how you manage a story sale because I do one with a fraction of the followers you have, and I can't keep up with it's a full time 4 hours, and then I have to take the stories down so I don't wake up to 20 DMs.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to speak to that, but the last one I did, I commented on last time, like normally I sell a few $1,000 pretty quickly and then I pull it down. That's kind of all I wanted to get out of the story sale. And the last one I did, I don't think I actually successfully sold anything, which is really unusual. So when the liquidity and when it becomes more people coming to your table or email, I've gotten 4 emails this week. Weirdly, a lot of vintage shadowless. I went through my binders. Here's my childhood collection stuff: shadowless Charizard, shadowless Alakazam. Multiple emails, which is I don't usually get emails for this stuff, but I gotten 3 or 4 in the last couple of days. And I'm offering about 75% on those things when I might have offered 80, 85 previously, because it was competitive at 80, 85%. And it is now competitive at 75%. So yeah, I'm adjusting back down personally. And if things come back up, I'll adjust back up. But you gotta kind of like keep up with it.
There are some things that are still trending upwards though. And so like for niche things, for some vintage items, you're seeing the trend upwards. But like most people who are reaching out aren't selling those things. Or I might, even if something is trending upwards, I might not be interested because I could spend that same money on something that is not going to be as expensive from a percentage standpoint and will be easier to sell. So yeah, And it's crazy. Like, this is such a fluid question to ask. Like, you could ask this same question every 2 months on the cast, and I would answer it in a different way about what my current approach is. And so
100%.
much of it is like gut instinct. Like, one of the things you brought up earlier, Dylan, was like, oh, yeah, I have these percentages in my head about what I'm willing to offer on different items. And like, those probably change all the time. Like, and depending on what your sales channels are doing, like, yeah, I'll pay you, 20% on your bulk CGC 8.5, blah, blah, because I know I can dump it to somebody that I've met along the way for really cheap as well. But, on these ponchos, I'm paying like all of that, like some of it's like really hard math maybe, but most of it's probably just your gut instinct on your confidence on what you can sell.
Yeah, it's basically confidence.
Yeah.
Not only on price, but timeline.
Yes.
There's some stuff that I'll buy. Like, I know I'll make money, but I'm sitting on it for 6 months.
Yes.
I'll still take it though.
Totally. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, Dylan, how many DMs do you get when you do a story sale like this?
Oh, you want it? Yeah. So the last one I did, it was like a Black Friday. I posted it yesterday. Absolutely blew up. I felt like I don't know. Have you ever seen those things where it's like ding, 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 ding as like the notifications? As like the first 30 minutes, it was just, I couldn't get to everyone. It took so long. And then, story sales like a whole day. So I went to sleep. I wake up, whole bunch of stuff. And I don't really have a great system. I kind of just like remember. It's kind of like I'm at my table and people will be like, is this available? I'm like, oh no, that one's gone. That one's gone.
Yeah.
And a better thing, I usually am not firm on my prices, but this thing, I did everything under comps. And then I was just firm on prices. So it's super easy to be like, yes, yes, no, instead of going haggling with like 30 different people. But I get a lot of DMs, and because I was so busy today, I missed on like half the sale. I haven't touched my Instagram at all because I was busy. So I'll probably have to redo it after I go through and pack and stuff. The packing and going through does take a long time, but really, like whenever there's it's basically like its own show. If I ever have a month off with no show, I'll just slap in a card sale. If I'm like right now, because in Jersey, like as I was saying, everyone's selling. I bought massive, like I came with more than double, or I went back with more than double with what I came.
Wow.
So I just saw like, and the next show's not for 2 weeks. The market's going real fast right now. So I said, let me just slap up a story sale, trim down a little bit. I got some more packages that I need to go pick up too. All kinds of collections that have been coming in. So I just need to liquidate a little bit. And that's when I throw up those story sales every now and then. But yeah, it's pretty. I think the better prices, obviously, the better the outturn. So like surprisingly, this is one of my better story sales, and it's in a relatively down market. I think that's because a lot of the people that were buying from me are confident in I was selling a lot of niche stuff, so it's not as affected compared to like a super volatile card. But a lot of the people were confident, and I was already under comps, so they don't mind scooping those up. Like I get lots of DMs asking about like certain cards like 10 times, and that's how I know it's like a really good price or really sought after. It kind of helps with my market scope or something, you know what I mean? Like I could get a grasp of the market if 20 people are asking me for this card that I priced at this, which is like, okay, that's good to know. I could pick that up later on. So yeah, but yeah, story sales are always great. I don't do them too often because if I did, I would just run out of inventory. And I need it for the shows. So right now they're doing good because I can buy so much from people selling.
Makes total sense.
I've done this.
No, I did see. Okay, so we'll call this out, folks. One of the reasons I asked this is because I saw this coming through the chat, and folks who have not done a story sale with some amount of social media following really have no idea how intense it actually is to try to keep up with it. And I am a relatively small creator compared to Dylan, and the stuff I have is not nearly as interesting as what Dylan has. So just be patient with him. He'll get around to you. He's a fair, reasonable guy. He's got life to live. He's doing things in his personal life and in his professional life, and he'll get back to you. It's not an intentional personal thing. It's really hard to keep up. I've done story sales. I do the same thing. If I finish up a show and I know I don't have another show for at least a month, I have fresh comps, so I'll take photos of like my entire inventory. I have
Uh-huh.
sold more on some story sales than I did at the show that weekend.
Yeah.
Where it'll just be like you said, it's a second show. I basically get to double up. Like
And
I could
it's
sell whatever
free.
10, 15K to show and sell another 10K for free, no fees. You spend some time packing things up, but yeah, I'm selling 97% of market range the entire time. But it is hard to keep track of the logistics of it. If anyone has an amazing system, I don't have an amazing system either. I'm just like taking notes and trying to keep track of things.
Yeah. The reason why I leave people on red is that means I forgot if I had it or not. Like they'll be like, "Is this available?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So I just
Gotcha.
and I can't get back. I was like, "I'm not at home, so I can't check."
My only thought for a story sale is to like build a spreadsheet of all the items before you put them on your story. You can
You can
track which ones have sold and put the name of the username or whatever, who picked it up, who claimed it first or whatever.
You could do it. But I spent so many hours pricing it beforehand. The last thing I want to do is spend another hour or two putting those cards back in the spreadsheet so that I can take it and then keep track of it that way.
It's exactly what I was going to say. It's exactly what I was going to say. You know, Jake has said this before about vendors doing this who go full time into this to avoid doing a menial data entry job in front of a desk. And then what they actually give themselves when you do it with enough scale is primarily a menial data entry job sitting at a desk. Yeah. It's very true. All right, guys, just keeping an eye on the time. We've got one more Gyarados of reality, and we might go kind of quick on this one. But I know, Jake, this was something you were talking about, and I did see this news. Dylan and I admittedly had not gone deep on this yet, but this is all unfolding in the last like 48 hours or so. Can you tell us a little bit? And again, for the chat, none of us is an expert on this. Like Jake's watched a little bit of content on this, but there's kind of an interesting thing happening with Probstein and eBay and shill bidding. So if anyone in the chat has takes or input on this and has been doing their own digging on this, let us know what you know. But maybe Jake, you take us through a little bit of this Gyarados of reality.
Yeah, so I would say like the tie-in to all three of us here is that two of the primary auction houses that were selling items like Pokemon card items on eBay are Z&G Emporium, is a very popular one, and then other one was called Probstein. And Probstein is named after Rick Probstein. Well, Probstein left eBay to create his own platform called Snipe. You can kind of assume they probably did so to, not have a selling fee, and trusting that he had a large enough name probably to get all of the existing, consignment sources from people who used him in the past off of eBay, and then to use Snipe instead. Well, Snipe had a beta and a launch, and then it basically crashed on day one or very early on into its official usage. And there was also a pretty significant data leak that happened. And as far as I understand, it seems like there are some accusations that have been laid that may or may not have some validity, that there was also like some shill bidding happening, like by people or by Probstein himself or by people who are close to him, that it might have been some sort of like intentional thing that was happening. So long story short, Snipe folds, and now it seems like the next move is for all of the Probstein business to go back to eBay. Anyways, so the impact for this, who knows what it's going to be, but it's something interesting to keep your eye on, because of the main Pokemon item consigners on eBay, Z&G is, very reputable and sells all the time, is almost exclusively graded cards, graded slabs. Whereas Probstein would take slabs and all sorts of other items like sealed boxes, cases, singles, loose packs, etc. And so you may have noticed, maybe we kind of have been seeing a downturn in some of the value of these items because of their, a relative lack of liquidity on a main online selling source. And so people had to take lower numbers than maybe they would have or whatever to sell their item and move through it. So just an interesting topic here, and a little bit of drama for your Wednesday evening. And I don't know, I'm not going to say like any opinions, but something to keep your eye on as far as the sources you're using to, number one, comp your items, number two, sell your items if you're going to consign them.
Thanks, Jake. Yeah, that's worthwhile to just put on everyone's radar. So I need to do my own reading and digging on that.
Yeah.
Should we go on to our last bit of the tall grass here with a Clefumble? I will start by saying I don't have a good Clefumble. I have been more judicious recently, and so I'm not making any massive plays. I'm actually admittedly playing it fairly safe. I had a really busy personal life in November, so I'm back to shows in about 2 weeks. So I'm sure I'll make a mistake sometime in the next 3 weeks, but I don't have one. But I don't know if you guys wanted to share a quick Clefumble before we get into our main topic.
I'll go real quick. There was so I'm working on a project of my own little mystery pack thing, but mine's different because mine's a physical one, and
Yours is better.
It's better. It's better, and it's for ungraded cards, so they're raw. And I've come to realize why most people don't do raw ones, and maybe because it's my timeline, but I've held on to a lot of raw. And it's basically everything I've ever gotten for the whole year. But recently, I still take in because I take them in for trades at the shows, and I took a lot in New Jersey, and the prices. I realized that a lot of the cards, maybe not, some of the cards on the market price isn't reflected like the actual trading price of the card, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like a card might be $300 TCG market, but if you look at the sales, it's like 250, and all like the listings are 250. So I've been and every time I look at the portfolio, been taking some L's on my, and it's like the S&P 500 of modern. It's all, every single alt art you can think of is in that index, and is what I've been picking up. That's pretty much the only raw I'll take, is if it's modern, like alt arts, or basically like a set hit, if you will. But those right now not doing so hot. So clefumbling on those values for sure.
Pretty simple one for me is I did a classic thing that a year ago Jake would have, laughed at, myself for making this decision, which is I got some of those the newer hits from Phantasmal, and the offers that I made on them, the Gold Charizard, the SIR, whatever, still represented the fact that it was a new card and there was a lot of risk. But I still ate my hat on them. Like the SIR Charizard went from like 800 to 550 in like 5 days. And I was hopeful that I could, buy it and sell it in a short period of time, but failed. Clefumble. Money, lost money. Me.
And should have made your money while you were alive.
Oh. Should have made my money while I was awake.
Asleep at the wheel. Dylan's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know
it's an inside joke that I just say things, and sometimes they're prophetic and profound, but and other times they're just kind of like empty nonsense sentences.
Patrick?
Yeah. Yes, like Patrick Star.
I mean, your hit rate on saying useful stuff is extraordinarily high, and 2.5 hours every 2 weeks on a live stream with minimal prep. It's not easy to sound profound 100% of the time.
I love how Ricky goes for the minimal prep. The most backhanded compliment I ever heard.
You don't need the prep. I need
Jake,
the prep.
You're impressive for never actually getting ready for these streams.
Literally thinking nothing at all and just showing up. No, man, it's a testament to how much you're always deeply thinking about this stuff. You're a professional.
I see what you did. I thank you. And you as well.
You're welcome. I am not. That's exactly why I need 45 minutes of prep. All right, guys, let's move on to our main topic here. which is whether vending Pokemon cards is the ultimate cheat code to building a collection. Is it or is it not? Anything else anyone wants to say before we start debating the man with $38 bajillion of cards behind him from a year and a half of vending?
The man with one of the most insane collections acquired in the shortest periods of time ever recorded in the entire Pokemon hobby.
Is it?
Without oil baron money, it's gotta be.
Without oil baron money.
I mean,
It's honestly been when I think about it, it's been longer than I think. Because like in my head, I think I'm new and I'm relatively new, but it's been a few years. I think it's been 2 years since I
Sure.
started vending.
Yeah.
That's nothing in the grand scheme of things, man. That's short.
Yeah, Dylan, I don't know if you know this, but there's people in the world that like don't make any net positive money changes from year to year, as far as the value of their investments or wealth. Like, you're doing all right after 2-3 years of vending. It's pretty impressive.
It's all luck though. Like you could have bought anything. When I started, you could have bought literally anything and you'd be in my position to recycle.
Sure. That's why the collector always wins, says Earn. If you buy something because you're going to collect it and hold on to it, the probability that it's just going to go up in value over time but like it's better because you like it, and so you're not going to sell it, and that's the advantage. The people who have big collection gains are those who just buy more than they sell over the long term.
That is true.
I always appreciate when people acknowledge the role of luck in success because it's always there. But hopefully you don't like discount that you made a lot of good right turns where other people would have taken no action or taken a left turn. I think to your credit, Dylan, you're a pretty brilliant marketer, and you started making content in a lane that barely existed. The shirts, the sprouts on your head, the coin flips. I mean, none of this was by accident, as much as of course luck and timing played a role. But you were the right guy at the right time, and there was 100 other right guys at the right time who did nothing.
Fair. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Tiny Flame, you bring up a great point, and this is kind of like my first point I'm going to talk about with our topic, which is vending is an advantage because if you're going to vend frequently, it means you're going to be at card shows frequently, right? Those are kind of an obvious connection. And those who go to card shows frequently are just by nature of being in the right place at the right time. You're in the right place more often, which means the right time happens more often, so whether you're at the booth as a vendor or you're at the show as a patron, if you go to 35 card shows in a year, there's a good chance that you're going to find the items that you're looking for. So for myself, e-readers, I've had a good amount of people bring their extra e-reader cards to my table, and I'm able to just kind of pick through them and compare it to my list and see what I need for my binder. But just as many times I've like been at the card show, it's been middle of the day on a Sunday, and so the booth isn't quite as busy, and so I hand the keys over to my brother, and he mans the booth for half an hour while I walk around and just hunt for e-readers at other people's tables. And hundreds of the cards that I have are because of that. So it has something to do with vending for sure, but it's also just being at card shows really frequently. And so the fact that, a vendor is going to be at so many shows, that's kind of like a correlation more than causation thing. Any ideas or thoughts on that, guys?
I would say, I think to make the question fair, you have to put restrictions because a vendor is basically a normal person with extra perks. So like, I would say if you structure it in the way that you're stuck at the show, but you're only vending, like strictly growing your collection from doing deals at your booth compared to not being a vendor. Otherwise, the vendor is also just a regular person with the ability to get that stuff. And in that scenario, I would say that and it also depends how much money you have. Like if you're just looking to grow your collection with X amount of money, you will be able to find more what you're looking for, more cool stuff, more variety walking around as opposed to being stuck waiting for someone to bring, especially if you're like newer or you're smaller or just all kinds of factors that'll affect how much traffic you get to your booth. You will for sure be able to find more items walking around than being at the booth. The only real benefit of being strictly a vendor, I would say, to grow is that it's a way for you to obviously make money doing it, and then you get to keep like the cool stuff, but you get the stuff you want at a better price. Because
Yep.
there's many times, like I as a collector, there's very few items that I can't find anywhere else, whether I'm a vendor or a buyer. So really the only thing is I'm just trying to get the best deal I can. So for a lot of my PC, most of the stuff you can buy anywhere, but I don't just buy it the first time I see it. I'm just trying to get the absolute best deal I can. So for a money conscious collector who's trying to maximize their spending power, you're for sure going to be able to get more by buying at a lower percentage and all that at your booth. But as far as if the money's no option, then you would be able to grow your collection faster and find more stuff you want by walking around, or I guess online. I guess both can do online, but you walking around, you'd find more stuff than vending.
Totally. But Jake's, I think, yeah, I agree with the framing. Jake's point, I guess, is just that, but you have access, but you're like, you're in the environment where those cards are, so it's easier to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
access to it, right?
that's
But
fair too.
one thing I'm thinking about, it's kind of similar to something Tilted Collectibles is saying here, is like some people, I'm sure you guys get these comments even more than I do, but I've gotten comments occasionally of like, oh, there's no skill at all in vending, especially in a hot market. Like it just set up a table. So I'm curious what you guys think about the accessibility of vending to like the normal collector who wants to adopt a strategy to help scale their collection beyond just working at a job and then using that money to purchase Pokemon cards. Like they want some type of leverage, some strategy in the collecting and hobby itself. How accessible is vending compared to another strategy like grading cards or selling online or Facebook groups or Reddit subreddits or whatever? Like, what do you guys think of that, the accessibility of it to the average person?
I think that, and I'm sure that you would echo this, Ricky. If the goal is to grow your collection, if that's like, hey, I'm in the Pokemon hobby just to get the items that I like or increase the overall value of my collection over time, vending in and of itself has so many other things that are going to take up your time that aren't actively doing that.
Yeah.
There's the travel, and there's the equipment, and there's the pricing, and there's the business administration, and all of those kinds of things that need to happen in order for you to vend. And what the ways that you kind of maybe brought up or hinted at that don't require that can help you grow your collection just as fast, but without those extra pieces. And so, and the other thing is like, there's such a, and I know you've mentioned this, Ricky, like there's a huge freedom element to going to a card show and not having a booth. Like,
Ugh,
yeah, right, Dylan?
so
Like
much more fun.
I know. I literally dream. I said this the other day when I was chatting with the guys at Marrow Games. Like my dream, honestly, is like the business is successful and all this is great, but like there's a future date in which Jake goes to card shows relatively anonymous and can just walk from booth to booth and like buy things and try to like make little, speculative plays and all this kind of stuff. And just kind of have the card show experience as a patron. Because the reason I got into vending is partly just because I freaking love being at the shows. And having the freedom to go and look for the cool things that I want and have that little, the piece of negotiation and that kind of stuff. And so like, as far as like building a collection, the there's that freedom aspect, and I think that the part that the vending helps with, that other things also help with, like the card grading, or buying collections in bulk and selling off the excess things online or whatever. Those other strategies help. The vending, you benefit from the fact that there's so much capital involved in the hobby because you're treating it as a business, and so it doesn't like feel as emotional to deploy that capital on items that you like, because there's already so much of your capital involved in the business of Pokemon when you start vending. But if you're just like working at your 9 to 5 and having to carve out a percentage of your salary to then use to pay for Pokemon product or items or cards or whatever it may be, like that's emotionally, I feel like, more difficult than just like, oh, this item I found at the card show, and it just turned out that I had some money that I'd brought to the card show for business, and so maybe I'll just go and buy this item because I like it, and if I have to sell it in the future, I can because I'm a vendor. So it's kind of relatively lower risk. Maybe there's like an emotional barrier and not as much like a financial barrier there, if that makes sense.
I think that's a little bit of copium, just a little bit, in the sense that strictly at the end of I think it's kind of similar to like a booster pack opening argument. It's like at the end of the day, it's the exact same thing. Your money is gone on the same amount, but it's how it was gone and like your experience of how you get it. Like,
but money, like, I understand why you would say that, Dylan, because you're an ultimately logical human being. But like, people have emotional connection to their money and how they got it and the work that they had to do to get it. That's why people are bad with money. It's because it's not just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's like your life experience tied into a stack of green bills.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, you're right that most people are like that.
Yeah.
But logically, it's the same thing.
Yes. So on a spreadsheet, it's the same thing.
Oh, not to Charmander too much, but Jake, when you said that there's some ideal future where you go around a card show anonymous, it reminded me of there being a story where Michael Jackson hired a bunch of people and like closed down a grocery store so that he could go grocery shopping as a normal person, and everyone in there was like just a plant actor that was like treating him like a normal guy. And as long as you're a big famous YouTuber, it's niche, right? It's a form of influencing nonetheless. And if you're in a card show context, I don't know how the two can coexist. So there might come a day where either you have to give up the YouTube channel and walk away for long enough to become unrecognizable by the new guard, or you just rent out a convention center, hire a bunch of vendors to.
It's just me.
It's just me and Dylan standing there like, hey, what's your name, man? Jake. Nice to meet you, Jake. What are you looking for today, man?
That's like even more dystopian than some of these other Pokemon YouTube videos I'm seeing. Like, that's so utterly dystopian. No, like I think what I'm getting at is I'm having a planned fall off, just like an enormous internet fall off where everyone decides they hate me and wants to forget me, and then I can go card shows in peace. You know what I mean?
Master plan. Interesting.
Yeah, I did try. I basically, because I love like the business part of me needs to vend, but the collector part of me loves to walk. Yeah. So for a few shows, I did Saturday only, and I usually do enough deals. I usually have most of the footage gets cut, so I have more than enough footage on Saturday to do 2 videos, and then on Sunday I would just go walk around, and then that's when I record buyer POVs. But I kind of scrapped it because lots of people were upset that like they couldn't do deals on Sunday because some people would come Sundays, and then I know logically I'm spending money instead of making money. And then third, like, it kind of sucks for everyone else that came with me to just sit at the table and do nothing, and kind of just while I go walk around. But it is like, it's such a nice feeling to go walk around and go buy stuff for yourself. But I think that's like what I was talking to earlier. It's more for the collector. It's better to go walk around. If you're already at the show, it's for sure better to go walk around. But it's just, it is it's more fun. It's better to go walk than it is to vend. But you gotta you gotta pay the bill somehow. So
Yeah. I want to circle back to what you said earlier, which is like money is money, and you use money to buy things for yourself, and how you get it doesn't really matter as far as like using it as a benefit to grow your collection, and thinking it does is just kind of copium. I love that because I feel like yeah, there is kind of a belief that the vending is really the way to grow your collection. Um, but the truth is that yes, like if you spent all the time that you would spend vending on having any other kind of side business, or maybe just like putting that into your current job and maximizing your income there, there's a good chance that, I mean, there's just so many ways to make money in the world.
Mhm.
There's a good chance that you could make enough to outpace what you could possibly do vending, and then
Mm.
just buy Pokemon cards at an extremely high clip. And I know for a fact there are people that do that, because when you come in contact with someone who is like a big spender in Pokemon, like they spend more for their personal collection than any vendor I've met has ever pulled out of their inventory to put onto their shelf, or whatever a vendor is going to do
Mhm.
in a short period of time. So, I mean, I hear exactly what you're saying.
That's an interesting take. I was thinking about this topic so like insular to the hobby, but yeah, if you make 100K now and you could do things to get to 200K a year, and you could spend the 70K post tax or whatever, 60K post tax on Pokemon cards, that might be more than you could make vending. I did see that from Wind Waker. That the money is money and you use it to buy things. Did you say that
Wind
word for
Waker.
word?
I'm thinking at this point I should just like make my own TCG of different pictures of my stupid face with really terrible Jake quotes. You know, those would sell pretty well, right?
Mugs. Put them on
Mugs,
mugs.
T-shirts, the whole deal.
Oh, that's funny.
So on this topic, man, I think like to the question, the original question, I think vending probably has the highest upside, but I think to capture that upside, you have to have an all-in strategy, like you guys are. You got to go 35 shows a year or whatever it is, go to the major shows. That's really how you capture that. And I think there's that path to like, 3 to 10xing the value that you've got there, solely vending or doing little other than vending to supplement that growth. I know people have done. I know a teenager who was maybe 16 when he started, and his parents gave him a few grand. I think his parents gave him like $5,000 to start with vending, and a year ago he had built it up with no additional capital to $100,000 value inventory, and he's still at it. So wouldn't surprise me if he's at a couple hundred, 150 to 350,000 would be my guess, that he's somewhere in that range. Started with 5 grand from his parents. So he was lucky enough to get the 5 grand from his parents, but he is out there every weekend. It's all he does outside of high school. Um, I think for the average person, vending is less accessible. And depending on where you live and like your time, if you have kids, you have to give up your weekends. I think for the average person, I actually think something like grading is probably the most efficient and maybe the best way to grow your collection rather than vending. But I don't know what you guys' take is on that. I think for the average person, grading is more efficient and a better way to grow your collection.
You go, Jake.
It like the math can definitely really start to math on grading. Like once if you're someone who is like dialed in at shows on finding gradable copies of cards, and then after let's say 6 months or so, and you're submitting like 50 cards every other week, and so every other week you're getting in a batch of graded cards, like the margins on those for most things, for most modern plays, if you do a little bit of research to find out what's the delta between the raw copy and the PSA 10 copy, you can just maximize your margin there. And those fluctuate from time to time, but for the most part, there are cards that have bigger margins and are still relatively high gem rates, so the play is there. Um, you can really start to see like tens of thousands of dollars of increased collection value, or if you flip it for cash or whatever,
Yep.
like hitting your inventory or your your account, whether it's wherever you sell, eBay or in person or whatever, like that's definitely a significant way to go. But I will say that in comparison to vending, I probably have to think about this, but it seems to me like that approach, you can start small, but to get to like a relatively significant size, it might be a little bit of a slower burn at the beginning than vending, because the transaction frequency isn't as high. The transaction like significance, I think, is higher because like you're having these big windfalls, these big margin increases every other week or however frequently you can make it happen. But like vending, like, I'm sure Dylan and I are in a similar boat, and maybe me even more because I sell singles more than he does at shows. Like I sell hundreds of individual cards sometimes at shows. And so it's just like tons and tons of transactions in a weekend, compared to grading is less frequent.
Yeah.
I think it's a great point.
Like grading, you for sure make. I actually don't grade that often throughout like my career, you want to call it. I maybe have less than 20 PSA submissions total.
Yeah, same.
I'll send like once every 3 months or so. But and like when they come back, they're big wins. But it's kind of like that's nice supplemental. I think like if you had to choose one for me, vending is the clear all-inner. But kind of for the topic though, it really just kind of depends on your situation. I think that the more time you can put into the time you put into vending can come out, like the more time you put into it, the better results you get. Where grading is kind of like a little bit of luck and a little bit of whatever you can buy and grade. But like vending, it's exponential, and the grading is kind of supplementary to go along with the grading while you're picking up stuff. Because if you're already picking up stuff to grade, you're already like 1 foot in the door.
Yeah, you can do a little bit of both, right? So like if you're vending, you can, any cards you take in that are singles, you can kind of review them and decide if you're going to grade them. But like, I'll tell you right now, people trade in maybe like 1 to 3 cards per show that I think are PSA 10 quality. But if Ricky, I bet you if you went to a Collecticon, like if you had a concerted effort, I bet you could source 50 cards in a day that are grade worthy, or at least in a weekend.
Yeah.
And and so like again, like that, that margin is much larger for not having to go through all the complexity of vending. But I wanted to push back on something you said there, Dylan. I think I just left my mind.
Much sense.
Yeah, it's too logical.
Well, he's talking about it being grading being supplementary rather than the main thing.
Yeah.
For the
I mean, I think I was going to say something along the lines of, you said it was kind of luck based. I'll tell you right now,
luck based in like you being able to get that, like people come up to you, or unless you meant looking for it.
I think luck happens in vending for sure too. It's just a different kind of luck, right? So like there's a little bit of luck that comes down to you can source the right cards, and then the PSA grader on whatever day is willing to give you the 10. But in vending, there's I think just as much luck, and some of it's a bit more macro, like okay, what's the trend of the market? You highlighted that comment earlier, Ricky, about it's not as easy as just posting up at a show and paying 70%. Like that's true, but like 5 months ago, like that's what you could do. Like in certain market environments, in certain industries, there's just low hanging fruit. Like I'm sure we've all been through a real estate market where like everyone knew a real estate agent who had been doing it for 5 months, and they got into it because the market was so strong. Yeah. Dylan pointing at himself. like, oh yeah, like I just started real estate, and it's like, well, did you do that because you love it or because the market's so hot that like anyone could sell a house right now, you know? So that happens in our industry as well. So there's a macro luck that comes down to it.
Sure.
But there's also the luck of like, you know, like at a local show, if you're not like a big time vendor who's traveling to big shows out of state, or, you know, if maybe they're in your state, if you're not doing like Collecticons or, you know, these other larger show circuits, there might only be one or two like crazy windfall collections that walk into a local show on any given weekend. And the luck is that like sometimes that binder, that person stops at the booth that's not your booth. And or sometimes they do. And so like those opportunities, you can't really control where those go to. And sometimes it goes to you and sometimes it doesn't. And that's just a luck piece. Like maybe because you had the right banner or, you know, you had made the right connections, but like some of it's luck. Sometimes that person goes to an absolutely unknown, brand new vendor and makes a deal with them. That happens.
Table placement.
Table placement, yeah.
Table placement is everything.
I was put in the back of the Pasadena Front Row Card Show, and I will not be doing that again.
I just finished editing this card party. I have so much content for card party. And to your earlier point, Jake, I did find about 40 cards on one Sunday at card party for grading. So that's probably about right, 30 to 50, depending on the show. There was this back room in card party. There was sort of like the way the convention center was set up. You walk in, and right away it's Dylan and Jake right in the front, and then there's sort of like some corporate one kind of nearby. I think it was like eBay or PSA or BGS or something. And then there's this like huge conference hall, and then there's a kind of a bridge into this other huge conference hall. And a lot of the vendors in the back were kind of getting cooked. Like some of them were like, oh, it's a good show overall, but a lot of them were like, yeah, I mean, it's basically like it's dead back here compared to the front room. And I've had so many times where I've given the advice plenty of times. If you can choose, if you could pay more to be closer to the main entrance, do it. You can make connections to be closer to the main entrance, do it.
Hear that, Jakey?
What did I miss?
This is the most inside joke of all inside jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan and I may not have plans to bend next to each other next year at Collecticons.
He'll be joining my section at the front.
Yes.
Ooh, very nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
Okay.
it's a premium price for
the
be at the front.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and ask if Dylan scalped tables at Collecticon on a recorded live
Let's
line.
just say this, Ricky. I'm going to do to you what he did to me so that I can pay for what he did to me.
It's worth it, though. It's worth it. But also, I wanted to bring this up before I forget it. Someone brought it up. Let me look in this chat. Andreesification is going back to the thing. Vendors give me dirty looks when they find out I'm looking for gradable cards. I'm not gonna lie, that's me too. That's a little bit of, to my personal opinion, that's kind of like a trade-up challenge. Like if you're like, it's okay to look for gradable cards, but you're basically asking the vendor, hey, can you give me anything you can make money? Like it's like free, asking for free money. Like, do you have anything that you plan on sending you would sell to me? It's like, dude, if I did personally, I was going to grade it myself, but I'm not just going to sell it to you if I had it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's a pet peeve of mine.
Here's a rabbit hole that I for sure will go down. My second pet peeve on top of that is someone comes to your table and they're, you know, looking through all your singles with the obvious intention of grading them. And they pick out like the cleanest, most immaculate stuff. And then they offer you like 88% on it.
This is a big reason why I don't do singles. Like I phased out singles, even though it's more popular. The amount of times I'm just like, I literally start like if I get vibes, I'm like, most of these I picked through to grade through myself. 80% of the time, oh, thank you for that. Then walk off.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like at least try to. Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but in my opinion, I would tell them like, you could do that for like smaller, like your local vendor who's just kind of doing it on the weekend. But if you go up to like a bigger company or something, like clearly they would grade them themselves. So like that's why if you're gonna do it, don't go to the front row, like all the people in the front with the banners and all. Like the stores are likely grade. Like if they're likely to grade it themselves, they will likely not have gradable cards for sale.
I was absolutely.
Me.
When? What are you talking about?
LA Collecticon. You like bought all these awesome cards, made me a nice fair offer below market.
That's for my PC. This wasn't for great. It's not even on this topic. So I knew someone was going to say something inevitably because I do about half of the buyer POVs I do are there's like a grading mission. That's usually how I treat these big shows. I'll do one day where it's purely like I'm there for fun. I'm trying to find cool, unique stuff to resell or things from my collection that are hard to find. And then the second day or what, it'll just be like I'm just doing grading or it'll flip, whatever. But like I'll do one day or one afternoon, one block where it's just I'm batching. I'm primarily looking for grading. The approach I would take here, someone put this in here too. I look for people who are low on, clearly not focused on slabs, right? So like somebody like Dylan, who is obviously going to have a ton of slab inventory, and has a content following. Like there's no incentive for him to sell a gradable card to somebody else below market value. So I would ask, like, do you grade your own stuff? Then the next thing that I would check on is whether I guess like it comes down to partly to their reaction, Jake, to your point, like how some people you'll just walk up and they'll be like, nothing here is gradable. I'm like, all right, like, that's
You mean
cool.
how big their crash out is?
Yeah, totally. How the reaction is. And then if something is gradable, I generally I put out there's a video out there. There's tons of 4K footage I just put out like 2 days ago on this. I will generally offer pretty close to market, but I will try to get a little bit off just to help with grading costs. But I don't know, I'll be in the 95% range. Like if I can buy a $400 card for a 385, then you protect yourself against the 9 a little bit.
For sure. No, I love it. I think I agree that the best approach is just transparency, like if I'm going to a show to grade cards, I would make it pretty known and like you said, stick to the vendors who are selling a lot more singles than slabs and that kind of stuff.
Hey,
well, there's definitely a place and for people that are non-vendors who are going to the show to grade cards. Like that's a huge part of the hobby. And I many times, have sold singles to people who bought them, took the gamble to grade, got a 10, and then sold it back to me. Many times that's happened to me.
Yeah. Another thing I look for, by the way, is like people with higher end cards in binders. That's another one where you'll like higher end singles in binders. You'll find a lot of gradable stuff in there, and people won't be annoyed about it. I get why vendor. I don't love it either when I'm vending and someone is like, "Do you have anything gradable here?" It is exactly what Dylan said. My reaction is like, "Is there anything I can make money on so that you don't make money instead?" It is kind of how it comes across. But people who have a lot, like you find those people that, like you said, like we're talking about, don't have a lot of slabs and they're happy to help you on that quest, right? I've had people where I'm like flipping through and I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for some gradable stuff, some stuff for myself or just for vending, and they'll be like, oh, I just took this in, it looked really good, take a look at it. Like you do run into that as well. So
I am probably a hypocrite. Like if I was doing it, I don't think I would go be that direct, but I would probably be the annoying person. It's just as a hypocritical vendor, that's how I am to them. But if I was on the foot, I'd be like, whoa, chill out, man. I'm just enjoying my time at the show, trying to find some deals. So I'm very hypocritical. But as the vendor, on my nerves.
Yeah. Dylan loves a good deal in his favor.
Of course.
So last thing before we move on to Q&A here for time, Dylan, is vending the best? Is it the ultimate cheat code to building your collection or no?
I would honestly say my real answer is it really depends on your situation. But for the average person just starting out, I would honestly say no, because you're gonna miss out. You're gonna make a bunch of fumbles and stuff. I think it's just easier, more efficient to just buy the card you like and go walk around and have fun and grow your collection.
Yeah. I'm going to say that's the ultimate cheat code for me because I love vending and I love being at card shows. And so like the whole point of this hobby is to engage with it in a way that like you find fun and sustainable and energizing for you. And so for me it is, because like I love a good deal at the table because it means that my business can perpetuate and I can, you know, pay employee and keep the lights on and stuff. But I also really, really love when things walk up to my table that I want for me. And I never know when that's going to happen. And that kind of mystery gets me excited for every new show. So, yeah, that's what I'll say.
It's more fun and enjoyable.
Everyone knows, I think everyone knows that I like to strike the balance and I don't vend too often because it does start to feel like work and I don't have quite the same like bug that Jake I think has for like loving vending. I know Jake, you've talked about it with me privately, like it's basically your favorite part of the whole thing is just doing the vending and stuff. And I'll enjoy doing it as long as it's only, you know, once or twice a month or less than that. Um, and so I think grading is the more efficient way, but I think finding any sales channels, whether it's vending or something else, having your way to kind of churn through to help pay for your collection, that's the key. You know, like I tell people all that I've got a buddy who has a huge Pokemon collection he's never tried to sell, and I was like, oh, there's some stuff I want to sell and I don't know how to sell it. And like this is why you learn how to sell along the way, is so that you have ways to sell it. And that you know it's partly part of the reason he wants to sell stuff now is because some of his stuff is up a lot and it can help fund other parts of his collection that he's more excited about. So whether it's vending or something else, learning to sell is in a lot of ways the ultimate cheat code to building your collection, but there's a lot of ways to do that. Vending is, if you can go all the way in on it, then I think it's one of the higher ceiling things that an individual person can do without becoming a raid club.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of an obvious it's an obvious thing, just like I mentioned at the very beginning. It's about being in that environment. Like if you're in the business of Pokemon cards, you're going to be exposed to so many opportunities just by nature of being in the right place all the time, that allow for you to kind of see cards more, that you see rare cards more frequently. You know, like look at Dylan. Dylan, you own probably the most extensive low pop collection I'm aware of. And so many of those, like you didn't have to like hunt them down. Like they walked up to you, or they sent you a DM on Instagram, and you're like, "Yeah, I'll take that." You have incredibly rare items, and you didn't have to like scour the earth for them because you were in the right environment all the time.
That is true.
All right, guys.
I will say though, caveats. To be fair, it's not the normal vendor experience.
Sure.
To be in my position. And then I think it's I think for sure, like if you're even on the fence on it, if you like Pokemon and you like that stuff, then it's worth doing it. But I wanted to say, like, similar to, I collect sports cards, but I don't vend sports cards. I have no interest in vending sports cards. I just go and buy them because it's easier, and I would 1,000% get like better deals and find more of the sports cards, but it's not worth it to me to go do it because I'm not interested in having anything to do with the sports cards other than just buying and selling it. So I think from that perspective of like, if you're on that Pokemon, like if you have no interest in selling at all and you're just trying to do it just so you could get like some better deals, then it's not worth it. But it's kind of like a twofer that if you're, oh, this is great, like I get to be in this environment and make money towards it, then yeah. So it really depends on your perspective of the vending part. If you're doing it as like a chore to make money to go buy the cards, or if you're like, oh, this is really fun.
Yeah.
That's why I say it depends. But
yeah, no, it's a great point. And that's why like people ask me like, hey, like what should I know about vending? And I'm like, well, you should do it a couple times and figure out if you like it first. Yeah. Because not everyone likes it, and there's no pressure to like it. It's just not for everybody. But if it's for you, then yeah, I mean, go for it. But like, if you hate it, don't use it as the primary way to build your collection.
Yeah. 1,000%.
As we're at 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I am soon going to be preventing my in-laws from going to sleep in their own bedroom. So let's move to the Q&A and
Let's do
answer
it.
some of the questions for the folks in the chat. We had, first of all, got a Blast Boost with a super chat. Thanks, man.
What up, Blast Boost? Appreciate your support, my friend.
So his
Thanks for the
question,
cut, guys.
do you see booster boxes modern being MSRP by Feb or March of next year, looking to acquire 30 to 40 cases?
No shot.
Also, no.
Yeah, MSRP seems like a stretch.
Plus, I got 50% off, 100% decline in 3 months.
Yeah. And like even for the brand newest sets, like it seems like Pokemon is continuing a trend of like creating sets that are really exciting, with clear nostalgia, and then also 30th anniversary. Doesn't seem like the recipe for boxes to be released at MSRP. And then for any boxes that are already out, in order to go quite a bit lower, they'd have to be perceived as like less desirable than some of the boxes that are at certain price points. So like the example I always bring up is like Phantasmal, it might not be incredible, but like I'd rather open Phantasmal than Scarlet Violet base. Like, so how's it going to go for quite a bit cheaper than Scarlet Violet base? How's it going to get to 160 when Scarlet Violet base is $100 more expensive than that almost? Just doesn't make any sense.
It would have to be a whole market collapse, not just booster boxes.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, sure. If S&P 500 goes down 40%, the USD loses traction as the world's reserve currency, and Bitcoin goes down to 25K. Maybe by March. Then
Sounds
maybe.
like a buying opportunity.
Yeah. Then hope you have the liquidity to make some plays.
Yeah.
What else we got in the chat here? From Rice Boy TCG. To gain inventory is the best way to do a bulk deal with a vendor to get a big percentage off.
Probably not.
Shouldn't be at the vendor. Take the vendor out.
Yeah.
And then yes, if you buy big bulks from like some random guy selling his collection, you'll get a better deal, but not a vendor.
Yeah, buy someone who's liquidating their collection, and not necessarily from a vendor, right? Because a vendor most likely got their items at 70 to 80%, and so they're gonna have to sell it at 90 or more for it to make sense, right? So look for a collector, probably.
Yeah. No, this goes back to something I think Jarvatar said a bit ago. Like the actual cheat code is to be a YouTuber, and it's not that simple to just become a YouTuber and then gain some level of trust and whatever following. But yeah, like having a content following, it makes it more likely that that individual who has a collection to sell. I was just telling Jake before this, he's working on a big collection purchase. Somebody came to him directly. I am too. I'm working on a 15K collection purchase from just a person who wants to sell a bunch, and they came to me directly because they watched the videos. Like, yes, having trust and having that following gives you a better chance to have access to it. And otherwise, you gotta go make connections and find it. It's not straightforward to do that. But no, buying from a vendor is there's no way that's the best way to build inventory. If someone were to start vending from Aramon TCG, is the current dip a good time to accrue inventory?
I'll say no, because, well, it depends on how long you're going to be in for it. Because who's to say the dip doesn't keep on going and then you just lose all your money instantly whenever you buy it. So I don't think it's a matter of. I think it's actually harder now to start because you won't have the sales channel to move the dropping stuff as quickly if it's likely to keep dropping. Now, if you're optimistic, then it would, but who knows?
I think there are some plays out there though. Like there are certain cards, specifically like some singles and slabs that like have overcorrected to the downward, that I think would still be relatively safe plays to buy at today's price, and hopefully at a margin as well, because you're buying to resell. So I don't hate it. I don't hate the idea, but you have to be careful, because like this is a falling knife question. You don't want to buy things that, like Dylan said, like have a good chance to continue to go down. But like some of the things that I'm thinking about are chase cards from sets that whose booster boxes are at a certain price to where like it really doesn't make sense for the chase card to go below a certain floor now that the box has gotten to a certain price. Like, how is the Charizard V from Brilliant Stars ever going to go back down to $120 now that the Brilliant box is like almost 500? Like, it just doesn't like that. I just don't really see a way for that to happen. It'd have to be both going down, and right now we're not seeing that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I want to say my thing is also, if you're not buying, I know many people that DM me or will come up to me and just buy from me as their inventory. You should not be buying at full market for your inventory. But yeah, so that was with the caveat that you're buying. You should buy under market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where my head went with this is if you're worried about the falling knife thing, to look at things that are just more stable, even in conditions like these. So, things before sun and moon, as Jake has said I think you said this um, on this pod and on other pods recently as well in Card Lounge. I think you said something similar, like sun and moon and earlier might be a little bit more protected from this sort of like current downturn that's really mostly affecting modern. So if you're really just getting started, I think working with vintage might be a safer move if you're worried about the falling knife issue.
Yeah, Gen 1 through 3 cards right now, vintage singles are strong. So
Yep. From Evan Snyder, would you guys say the most important part of vending is flipping product quickly, even if the margin is less?
yes.
That's it.
I would say yes. I said this the other day. Money loves speed. I think about the richest retail companies in the world. They can run tight margins because they move enormous volume.
I would say it depends on the margin. Like for me in my head, I always treat a deal individually and I will accept or decline the offer based on if I think I can get more within a reasonable amount or if I can get more and if yes, how long, and if it's in a reasonable amount of time, then I'll decline it. So like you shouldn't take a 5% margin, even though it's instant, if you know for sure, like within a week, you can get 15 to 20. So for a super liquid card.
Sure.
So it depends on each item and how confident you think you will quickly sell it. Because like it is guaranteed is better, but if you're confident you can get more, it's worth the risk.
No,
there's a whole lot of it depends in this thing. There's no cut and dry stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and every item is different, and every item is different in different market environments. But like the evidence for my stance on this is how many vendors are lining up to be sourcers for these mystery pack companies. Because if they know for a fact that they can dump things at 95%, they will pay 90. They will pay 90. And so they do enormous volume, small margin. And, when they have that much confidence, it's just like in and out, in and out, in and out. Like these guys who are buying, $750,000 worth of slabs on a Saturday and Sunday, like they're sending the spreadsheet to the company on Monday. Like it's all of that gets turned over in 24 hours.
Yeah. 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 That's a good point. Yeah, it's interesting. You had such clarity in your response. My response is a lot like Dylan's. It depends. It depends on what the market is doing. It depends on the individual item. If I buy brand new, I've said many times before, I don't like buying things that had just come out. But the one time I will buy the hit from the set that just came out is if it is the Saturday morning of a 2-day show. Because that's exactly the point of like, I think I'm trying to get rid of it that weekend. Like if I think I can find a buyer this weekend, sure, I'll pick it up. That's the only shot I'm taking a chance on it. Otherwise, like I don't vend often enough to optimize solely for speed. So I have to be more prudent and thoughtful about things that are not likely to crash meaningfully in value if I take a month off between shows.
Yeah.
Xenix Live also giving us a small deposit for this Gold Star Torchic for the show. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, Xenix.
Xenix.
Thank you,
Is that for who? Is that for you, Ricky? I don't think I have a Gold Star Torchic. I need one. Yeah, I need one to sell to Xenix.
Someone talked in a previous stream about Gold Star. I think maybe Drew had talked about a Gold Star Torchic, and we had talked about getting one, and then we were kind of joking with the chat about one of the things we were definitely talking about is funding with the Super Chat piggy bank a vintage pack to open
Oh
once
yes,
quarterly.
That's
yes.
a cool idea.
We definitely need to do that.
Cool
Yeah,
idea.
maybe the end of the year, I'll like add up all the super chats and like let's say like over the course of our. By the way, this is our 10th stream. Shout out 10. Good for us. Maybe at the end of the year, maybe I'll look back at all of the super chats and like I'll add them all up, and then that's our budget for buying a vintage pack to rip on stream.
That could be cool.
Good idea.
And then we could see what was the name of the segment. Were we in the Magna Zone or did we get mucked over?
Yeah, did we get mucked over? And the answer is almost always yes when you're
yeah, it is. Let's take maybe a couple more here. Oh, Pop Patty. Question: do y'all think PSA 10 WotC hollows are undervalued?
I think they're overvalued. Well, it depends which one you're talking about.
Yeah, some of them
overvalued for the most part.
Base set hollows, like, oof, like they're so tough. But like, I think that there's definitely some of the cards in like Gym Challenge, Gym Heroes, and Neo, and then most definitely some e-reader sets that are undervalued.
Yep.
Like for example,
the non-popular ones are undervalued.
I'm gonna pump my own bags here. So like one of the cards that was traded in for that Gold Star Ray is this.
I love that card. I love that card.
And like I think market price is probably somewhere around 2,500 to 3K or so. Like there's listings for 3K on eBay. That seems so absurdly low for that card. Like it's Arcanine. A Skyridge, a heavy Skyridge pack is what, like over $2,000. Anyways, some of them yes, some of them no. That's my take.
Yeah, I think I've got the same take as you, Jake. The base set hollows thing, I can't help but feel like they're pretty illiquid at these shows. There are buyers online, but like people do not generally right now want base set hollows, and they haven't for as long as I've been going to shows, about 2 years now. Makes me think that a lot of the people that want this truly as a collection or as a long-term speculative investment already have what they want. So like, who's the new buyer for the base set PSA 10 hollow? It's like, if it's not just changing hands through vendors, I don't know, the end consumer of this, it's like, yeah, it makes it hard for me to think of these as undervalued. But I agree with some of the Neo stuff. Gym Challenge is a good call. Definitely some of the e-reader stuff. Agreed. Let's see. Oh, Wind Waker gifted 5 memberships.
Yes, Wind Waker. Appreciate you, my friend.
After so much roasting you, it just brings back the goodwill.
It's a trade-off I have with some of the people who also join our selling stream, that you come to the stream and you roast me and trash me on the internet, but then you also buy my stuff. So I really, good trade-off.
All right. I know we've had a lot of other good questions, but maybe as we start to wind down, we talk about something like this. PC projects we're working on right now. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be the one that calls it, but I got to run soon. So maybe we end on this one. PC projects right now.
Want me to go? Cool.
Yes.
I'm working on my 4th Umbreon Skyridge 1 PSA 1 through 10 set. So I've been picking up every copy I can find, just because I'm just gonna keep picking them up now. I think I'm gonna go for the funny thing that I'll get it is 10 1 through 10 sets, but finding 10 of the 10s is gonna be pretty hard. So I don't think I can do that many. I'll start with 5, but that's currently what I've been hunting for. It's my Skyridge. So if you see my stories, you might have seen like I'm looking for a Skyridge Umbreon. And that's because I'm looking that I finished the 3rd set. So now I'm starting to get 1 through 10 again.
Of the exact same card?
Exact same card. If you look over there, there's 30 of them all the way at the top. It's my favorite non-Bulbasaur card. Like that to me, that was like one of the first cards that one in the Latios Lovebirds is like when I first started collecting, I thought were super cool. So that card is my absolute favorite. I just think that's the only. By the way, that's the only reason why I say Skyridge is my favorite set. That's the only reason I even collected the whole Skyridge PSA 10 set, and I'm trying to do the master set is just that card. I don't even like Umbreon that much. I just like that card.
The typo on this comment is killing me. For now on, Dylan, I'm calling you Scrounge McDuck. I love it. Thank you, to Colts. Mine's pretty simple. I've told you guys a zillion times. I'm working on the Master Set Expedition, Aquapolis, and Skyridge in a binder. All hollows, non-hollows, reverses, etc. And I think we're probably about 80% of the way now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Reverses,
I said this on
all reverses. It's almost 1,000 individual cards.
Yeah, that's pretty good then.
Yeah,
love it. That's gonna look so awesome finished.
The binder is heavy.
Yeah, I bet. I said this on the last stream, but I did finish up some of my recent goals. So I have two things. One is I am still missing a Wade heavy, pretty clean base set blister of the Blastoise art.
Yes.
So Venusaur and Charizard need the Blastoise. So I'll just be on the lookout for that. And then the other thing I said on the last stream was that I've decided to start binder collecting all LC reverse. So actually, before me and Jake struck the deal on the CD promo, the one I was going to share at the beginning of the stream was going to be that I did pick up an Abra LC reverse. So I've got just the two so far, and it takes however long it takes. I think it's like 102 cards, just the reverses. But I'm just going to do a binder dedicated to that. So that's going to be my next thing. That whatever, however long if it takes a year, if it takes 3 years, whatever. But just looking for like MP, LP-ish copies of those cards that'll look in the binder.
It's awesome. I picked up a Snorlax this weekend. I'll sell it to you for overmarket if you'd like.
Let's talk, sure.
We can bundle deal with this, and make it a nice
perfect
250 market.
Yeah, make it a nice bundle.
Perfect.
All right, that's all we got for the chat for today. Should we end on our elite forecast, fellas?
Yep.
Oh, you've got one in the chamber. Why don't you go first?
Yeah, going locked and loaded. So staying on that theme of Ascended Heroes, as soon as I saw that set, I was like, oh man, I need this. This set is wild. I need as much of that as I can reasonably get my hands on. So I know that they're not going to have it's a special set, right? No booster boxes.
Right.
But I think in terms of the percentage dip with the Mons in it, Dragonite, Gengar, Mewtwo, Pikachu as major hits in this set. And that's, there's plenty of other great ones in there. I think it's going to dip less than Mega Evolution or Phantasmal did percentage-wise relative to their opening. So if they were a booster box, I would say they'd stay around 300. I don't know what the ETB is at right now. I know that they just did some pre-orders, but I would say the percentage dip versus the floor is going to be higher on this relative to its pre-release price compared to the last two sets.
That's a pretty lukewarm take there, boss. I mean, the set is gas. So, yeah.
Just completely eroded his whole take. Yeah, that was not good, buddy.
I agree. That's the problem. I think everyone's gonna be down for that set.
Oh my
god.
So
lukewarm.
Okay.
Sorry. I answered that like we weren't live on the internet. Sorry, Ricky. Very astute. I think you're onto something.
Oh my god.
That's too late. I think you've done this. I think you've had this reaction to my elite forecast every single episode.
You're so risk off, Ricky. Your hot takes are like so safe. I love it.
It's not meant to be a hot take. It's an elite forecast.
Right. Well, it's meant to be something that like maybe people aren't thinking about, you know?
It's a forecast.
It's a little bit
People
of game for the people, and you're like, this upcoming set, it's
said
gonna
it's
be
really good.
really
Yeah,
good.
okay.
People are gonna like it.
All right, I'm gonna come with something wild next time, just for you.
Yes. Okay.
What's yours, Jake? Come on, come on. What's your genius take? This better be really good.
Let's popcorn Dylan here.
No, I want to hear Jake's. I really want to hear Jake's.
Didn't even have one in the chamber. Oh, okay. My elite forecast is that Sun and Moon rainbow rares will go up in value in the next couple months. They're underappreciated, undervalued. No one liked them before. I like them and they look good. So I think they will go up in a couple months.
Yeah. I like that. I've actually been talking with Trey quite a bit, the Jarvitar, about Sun and Moon rainbows and the full arts too. Like a lot of those full arts are super low pop, like under 200 in a 10, which is interesting. I'm going to go for PSA 10 third and fourth generation chase cards are going to continue on their bull run. So like one of the things you mentioned earlier in the pod is Dylan, is that like, you know, some of these like lower graded gold stars have kind of come down a bit, but like like the 10s are still doing record sales all the time. And I think that's going to be the case for a lot of these chase cards, EXs, level X's. And then I think I might also throw like shinings in there. I think those kind of like crystals, top tier vintage rarity PSA 10s, I think are going to continue to do record sales for the next, I think all throughout next year. We're still going to see new highs on those. I really do.
So let me just make sure I understood your take here. Cards that are rare and currently doing record sales are doing record sales, and they will continue to do record sales. Stuff that is selling for more than it's ever sold for will keep doing that.
It's a hot take. Things could go down. Everything else is going down.
I will say the only thing I know from those is I know the level X's are going down. All the 10s most of the 10s are going down. Like now. Which is good for me. I've been picking up a couple.
Those are all super low pop too, like under 50, aren't they? A lot of them.
Most of them, yeah. But like, it's a nosedive for most of them. For the 10.
I had to look at some of the public comps on them.
But hot take.
Forecast.
Elite forecast. Was it elite? Was it the second gym?
Yeah, I think mine was kind of misty.
It's okay. Mine was Brock. I can own it.
Yours was like Gary Oak in Professor Oak's lab, you know?
The opening screen.
Yeah.
The tutorial with the music.
What is it? It's in the new games, like when you battle your rival's Mon in the first 5 minutes, like they don't let you lose. Like you auto potion if you get into the red or something. That's what it was.
Wow. Well, let's end the pod there. That's all we got.
It's going to be on a new mug.
All right, guys. That is the pod for today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Dylan, for your time.
Thank you, Dylan,
for your patience.
Thank you for having me.
Happy Thanksgiving to all who celebrate. If not, happy Turkey Day. And we appreciate all of you being here. This was our 10th volume of Midweek Machamps. We have no plans to slow down in the future. We like every other week. We're having a great time with it. We're enjoying bringing on the guests. I'm sure we'll have Dylan on again in the future. He is a bright mind in the world of Pokemon hoarding and vending. And that's all we got. Thank you guys for being here.
That was fun. See you, Dylan. Thanks.
Bye.
See you guys. See you, everyone.